Oh shit.
That's right. Whatever. You good?
So did miss all that?
Missed all that. No, that one. It was on your camera. It was on your camera.
I was like, God
No. You good. You good.
But yeah, no. So I think there's certain things you go to college for. I mean, if you want to go be a doctor, like that's pretty relevant. You're probably not gonna learn that on the street. But yeah, like I'm the same way. Like, so I went to college for exercise science. Dude, I have done fucking nothing with my degree.
So what did you do with your degree? What did you get that degree for, Mr. Stahl?
To be honest with you, like the exercise science degree, like it's good. You know what I mean? I think it's something for like when I retire, maybe I can delve into something, or if I want something on the side that goes into it. But dude, yeah, I've done nothing with it. And like I have zero regret about that, you know.
No,
what I mean, it's a good degree to have to, like, you know, because there's a whole bunch of avenues I can go with it. So it is what it is. But yeah, dude, I haven't done anything with it, and so
now I was gonna say, what happened? So now you did all your time at Adelphi?
No, so I did my first year and a half at Old Dominion. So I was
that was in
there.
Virginia.
Yeah, so I was down there playing baseball.
What was the vibe like down there?
Dude, I loved it, man. You know, it was in Norfolk, Virginia, man. We were not far from Virginia Beach. Like, I loved everything about it. What sucked for me was actually it's probably like the rawest I'm gonna get. At least about my baseball career.
He's about to sit up.
Yeah,
buddy, watch out.
So like, dude, the only reason I ever got to where I was like in high school and shit. Like, I just had fun. So when I got to college, dude, I hated playing baseball. This is actually probably some shit people don't even know. I fucking hated playing baseball because
Really?
it became so much like a job that I just like literally didn't have fun playing anymore. So I suffered from that, right? Like I wasn't playing as well. So I finished my freshman year, came back for my sophomore year. We had a new coach. And I was like, all right, let me kind of like refresh. Let's start back at fucking square one.
let's get back into the mindset.
So went back my sophomore year, and I was there for the first semester, and I was doing okay. But like I was just still like in the same vibe. I was just like, I'm not feeling it, bro. And so at that time, that was my mom also got breast cancer. So that was like right at the end of my fall semester. So I was like, there was just a lot going on. And I was like, you know what? I need to go back home. So I went back home, and I went to Nassau for like the spring of my sophomore year. I was like, all right, let me finish out the year. Let me kind of get the wheels fucking turning again. Do the same thing. Let's get back to square one. So I went and played summer ball, and like I was like, all right, I'm good. I'm in it now. Then I went to Adelphi. So now we're in my junior year. Mom's good and everything like that. So I was like, okay, life's kind of going on the good track right now. So yeah, my junior year I went to Adelphi, man, and I like immediately fell back into that same thing. I got on the field again. I was like, I fucking hate this. And it sucked, dude. It fucking pained me because I was like, it's like the only thing I wanted to do is play baseball. And I just like,
you were good at it.
I couldn't fucking enjoy it anymore.
You were good at it.
And so I just suffered more and more and more. And like, it just on the field, like my whole game it was fucking gone. So at the time, actually, this is going back to like when me and you met. I was in a super fucking toxic relationship.
You're making me so we all get them.
We all get them. But yeah, I was in a super toxic relationship at the time, man, and that shit did a number on me mentally.
It's dude. It's tough. People that haven't. I feel like more people have experienced toxic relationships than not. So yeah. I feel like most people, they hear something like that and instantly their mind goes back to that person that was toxic for them.
Yeah.
And for the people that don't understand, or the people that try to help people through stuff like that, it's tough. It's really tough. It's tough for everybody because the person that's involved in the toxic relationship doesn't want to hear that the relationship is bad for them.
Yeah, because in the back of the head, you know it. Yeah. You're just trying not to accept it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And you see past a lot of the flaws because you're with somebody, you're having sex. So that's a huge part of it too. Yeah. You know, as guys, we're dumbasses. We're like, oh, well, you're not getting fucked for your But it's tough for outsiders to like try to talk sense into people. Yeah. Because you don't want to come off as now this person resents you for trying to tell them, hey, this person isn't good for you. And you're just trying to help somebody that you love. So
yeah, and it's hard, man, because you know I wasn't sitting here telling everybody like the very ins and outs of what exactly was going on. So like I can't sit here and blame everybody for, you know, I'd be like, hey, like fucking leave her, you're stupid, da da da. So you know, there's just information I wasn't gonna put out there to the world, just like that. So yeah, dude. So that was like right around the time me and you met, man. So that was like my junior year. Went through my junior year, went through my senior year, and that's when the next chapter of my life fucking sparked up. So
what
yeah,
was
dude.
so I was gonna say there's like the hey yo, don't be banging that coffee cup.
My
man.
bad.
Do you
dude,
want
it's-
more? Is that why you're banging? Do you want more?
Yo, hit me.
I'll top.
Whoa.
Oh my god! Whoa! It's a family show.
I swear, guys, it's only the first cup. So
I'll tap you a little bit.
Anybody that thinks it's more than
Don't stick
that,
it, shit.
you're wrong.
Right there. There's that good sauce.
Yeah. So that's
Makers,
the
send the check.
That's the tog juice.
So, what happened with after that? Like, what did you feel would set you straight and kind of get you in the moment?
So I'd say, dude, I had a very weird, like, it's what I call like a light bulb moment. As corny as that sounds, people are probably gonna laugh at that, but I'll explain why.
No.
So my senior year, I was actually like, I was sitting in bed one day and I was watching Zero Dark 30, the movie. Yeah. So I was watching that movie. If anybody doesn't know, it's about fucking
Military
CIA
movie.
and how they caught Bin Laden and all that good stuff. So kind of backtrack a little bit, like growing up, like when I was super young, even till where this kind of story is leading, I had like a super big asphyxiation with the military. I thought it was like the coolest fucking thing in the world, right? So like me and my brother went to the Army Navy store. We got like the old school BDUs and boonie caps, and we'd be out in the fucking snow. You know, it's just, to me, it was just like the coolest thing ever, right? So I'm watching this movie. I'm sitting there in bed, and I'm actually watching, like, if anybody doesn't know, the end of the fucking movie is like where they actually do like the Bin Laden raid and whatever, and SEALs go in and kill them. So I'm watching that shit, and I'm like, oh, cool. You know, and like, backstory, right? Like, I've seen this movie probably about 40 fucking times since then. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not like I hadn't seen this movie. It's not like I didn't know what was going to happen. So I'm watching the movie, and all of a sudden, like, during that fucking scene, my body just, like, shoots up. I'm like, huh. And so, like, I literally, like, I'm talking to myself. I'm like, what am I doing? Right? This is my senior year of college. Like, no idea what the fuck I'm going to do after. Like, zero fucking plan. Right? So, and I, like, sat up. Fucking, I was like, what are you doing? And I was like, watching the movie a little bit more as I'm sitting up, and I was like, that's it. I have to do it. So from that point on, man, you know, the next couple weeks, I went down. Well, I started doing research, went online, looked at the Army, Marines, all that stuff, and I went down to the recruiters down in Hempstead Turnpike. It was like 10 minutes from where I was living. And I just started asking questions, man. What do I need to do?
And so you went to the Army.
Yeah. So
that's my question for you.
Yeah.
Like, what was your mental selection process in? Because obviously the SEALs, if you're watching the Zero Dark 30 stuff, the SEALs are Navy.
Yeah. So yeah, and so that was the funny thing was like obviously my decision to go into the Army, like most people would be like, well, why? That's a movie about like SEALs and CIA. Like it wasn't necessarily like the SEAL part of it that got me.
It was just the actual rallying.
Yeah, it was that. It was the action. It was just all of that. Like this, what it all embodied was what got me. So, and it's funny because I had brought it to my parents after I did all my research, and by the time I brought it to my parents, like, so they didn't know anything. Like, I went to the recruiters, I did like practice, aptitude tests, like I did like pretty much the whole shebang minus signing the papers before I even told my parents what was going on, because like my parents know that like any decision I've ever made is pretty well thought out. Like I usually don't have any like skepticism about whatever decision I'm going to make. So I made sure like when I go to my parents, I'm going to sit down and like I'm going to have a plan. Right, like
which is the right way to do it.
Yeah, this is
especially
because
this is a tough pill to swallow for parents.
Yeah. So at the same time, like my brother was an NYPD cop, so you can only imagine like the stress level on parents with like, oh my god, my son's a cop, my other son's gonna go into the military. Like, you know, as a parent, like especially if like I'm the baby, you know what I mean? My brother's older than me, so it's just me and him. So yeah, so I sat down with my parents, man, about all of it, and got the reaction I thought I was gonna get. You know what I mean? I wasn't surprised.
Who was more worried, mom or dad?
My mom, yeah, for sure. But you know, and so like I sat there and we were at the kitchen table, man, and I was kind of like, I felt bad. You know what I mean? Like you sit there and you see like your parents are worried and shit. You know, you kind of like,
yeah,
you think twice about it. So, but I'll never forget, man. My dad sat there and he was like, my biggest regret in life was not going and being a pilot. And I was like, all right, done deal.
Yeah,
so
Pops kind of signed off on it.
Yeah. And I figured he would. Like, he had questions, you know what I mean? Like any parent would. But I think, you know, me and my dad are very much alike. And he was kind of like, you know, like, hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. You know what I mean? As long as you know what you're getting into, is what it is.
Yeah, the commitment that's going to be.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, some more time went by, man. I kind of started going through more of the process and finally got my mom on board with it and everything. And, Yeah, dude. So, geez, it was August of 2014 I left.
Damn.
So, yeah, I left.
Did I see you away that the birthday party and then you went away?
Yes, I did like a little going away party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw you away for that.
Yeah. Well, fuck everybody that didn't come to that shit. Don't think I don't fucking remember. Because I fucking do.
Let him know. every day while he's overseas, just thinking, Ben, Mary. He's just listing off names like you're in Game of Thrones. He's going after the list.
So yeah, man, I fucking August 2014, man, I left, and I'll actually never forget the look on my mom's face. Like, so we all hopped in a van. We are getting ready to go to I think we went to Staten Island, maybe stay in a hotel overnight there before you finish up the processing the next day. And dude, my mom's face was just like mortified
when she dropped you off.
Yeah, like when we were all getting in the van and leaving, I was like,
oh, so the van picked you up?
Yeah, so like basically you go there. I'm sorry, I kind of had it backwards. You go to it's called MEP. We call it MEPS, like I forget, something entry processing station. So you go there.
Teach me like I'm 5. That's what you have to do. You have to,
bro, I'm trying to remember this shit.
Lingo
it's
and everything.
Years.
It's all the lingo and everything. So, you gotta teach me like
I'm
5.
You go to there. You go to the station. You kind of finish up some stuff, and then, geez, I'm like drawing a blank here. Yeah, so you go there in the morning. You go there like super early in the morning. Your parents end up meeting you there. They watch you like swearing and everything. You give like the oath,
which is very emotional.
Yeah, and then that's
for everybody. I would be emotional if I was swearing.
Yeah,
I would be upset. Like not even in a negative way, just in an overall.
Yeah,
tons of emotions. Family's there. You're swearing your life to defend. Yeah. Like that's fucking huge, man. That's big shit.
So yeah, it was. You do all that, man. You give the oath, and then that was it, man. So you get in the fucking van. That's it, man.
Get in. Now you're ours, motherfucker.
You get in the van, bro, and that's it. Like, it's, that's it.
And so now where did you go?
So flew out to Fort Benning, Georgia. Well, you fly into Atlanta, then you get on a bus and you go to Fort Benning.
And what was that like? What was the emotions running through you when you got there?
To be honest, dude, like when I first got there, they play like those fuck games with you. You know what I mean? And it's all part of it. But like when you first get there, you meet up with I don't know if they were drill sergeants. I don't remember.
Are they screaming at you right off the bus?
No, they're not, dude. So like when you first get there in the airport, they like make sure they got all of you there and like, all right, get your shit. We're going down to the buses, whatever. You get on the bus, and then fucking you get on the bus, take like an hour or something ride to Fort Benning. And you get there, drill sergeant comes on the bus. Doesn't really do anything crazy. Kind of just fucking gives you some commands or whatever. You get off the bus, and then that's when they start being real fucking assholes. Yeah, dude, everything is you fucking dumbass, like and it's cool. So it's from where I was too, right? So I was infantry, so at the time it was all male environment.
Did you get to choose which division you wanted to go into? So what were the divisions?
So as far as what, like
army, infantry.
Yeah, so
medics. I don't know. Is it like
So when I
have Call of Duty like a dumbass.
No, I mean you're not far off, but like So when you go through like your recruiting process, man, I did like the special forces recruit.
Okay,
it's a bunch of bullshit if anybody's thinking about doing it. But in order to do that, you have to be basically an infantryman first, go through airborne school and all that shit to even go to that stuff. So yeah, so basically I had to go through the infantry side of things first. So that was kind of like a prerequisite. But you can choose to be just a straight up infantryman. You can go choose to be a medic, a tanker. Based off of what you choose is going to basically determine where you go to basic training.
Gotcha.
So there's 4 different places you can go around the country. So for infantry, I went to Fort Benning. So yeah, your first like week or so, it's just all process. It's paperwork, you get your uniforms, all that fucking bullshit. A lot of sitting around waiting. But dude, I'll never forget the first night I was there. And like we all laughed about this because if you go into the military and your very first night at basic training or when you go to processing, if you don't sit there and lay in bed and look up at the fucking ceiling and ask yourself, what the fuck did I get myself into? You're lying. You're absolutely fucking lying, bro. When I went to processing, dude, this is the first week. Dude, we're not even basic training yet. This is just the first week of just bullshit, right? Just paperwork, all sorts of like rudimentary, just fucking.
Are you up sunrise to sundown doing this, or is it just?
Dude, the first day, I mean, you don't sleep for like 36 hours or something like that. Something stupid. But yeah, so the amount of people that like try to kill themselves
Really?
during processing is unbelievable. Dude,
Really?
ambulances were coming all night long.
Dudes
It's
just, like
just-
hanging themselves and shit?
Yeah, they just get there and it's just like, fuck, like I don't want to be doing this.
It's too surreal for them?
Yeah, like because you get there, I mean, and it's fucking real, man. Like mom and dad's not there, your friends aren't there, you're in a massive amount of people that you don't know anybody from fucking hole in the wall, you know. So you make friends or you fucking don't. So yeah, dude, that shit would happen all the time, man. So after the first week, they pretty much get you together as a group and say, all right, you guys are, they call it shipping out, be basically going down the fucking road to basic training. And that's when all like, granted, this is, you know, years ago, right? So not years ago, but this was probably
2014.
Yeah, 2014. So it was what, 7 years ago now. So it's changed since then, and that's not a long fucking time, but that shit happens a lot where things change.
Has it changed for the better or the worse? Because I think I know what you mean.
I'm gonna say for the worse, just based
so,
off of like the ending of when I got out of there, and I still have friends that are in. I still talk to them and kind of hear about how things are now. But yeah, dude. So you go to basic training, man, and that first day they don't do it anymore, but they always call it a shark attack. So every drill sergeant in the fucking battalion comes out and they're just fucking yelling
down your throats.
Yeah, you're yelling at you. There's machine guns going off with fucking blanks, and
yeah, they're trying to desensitize you. That's what it is.
So, dude, I was so this was now the first week of September. I was there, and it was fucking balls hot. Georgia, humid as fuck, and it was miserable.
I'd be curious to know the statistic of the amount of guys that have like actual mental breakdowns.
Yeah,
when that stuff is going off, because it's one thing to have the
imagine.
processing, because the processing and everything like that, like you said, you have a week of just this is your new life, enjoy, and then the real shit happens. And what is that where they have guns going off and they're yelling in your face and they're calling you worthless and you're sitting there just taking all of this in, and for some people it must be shell shocking.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on you as a person, man, how you take it. Like, if you go into there knowing that, like, hey, this first day I'm gonna get my absolute ass fucking reamed, you know what I mean? Like, is it shitty? Yeah, it's shitty. You know what I mean? But like, if you know it's coming to you, know it's, you know what I mean, just deal with it. Right? Yeah. So, you know, we go through all that shit, man, and honestly, like sometimes as long as you're not the one getting fucking like singled out, like it's really not that bad. And it's kind of funny. Like, dude, we had a dude, he was little fucking kid, bro. And I think he like missed a spot shaving. And so this big ass fucking drill sergeant, I'll never forget, it was oh my God, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but I fucking know his face, dude.
Oh, if you saw him in a crowd, you'd be like,
yeah, dude, I picked
that
motherfucker, bro. So he comes over and he's like, he gets in this kid's face and he's like, he starts yelling at him. And I don't know what the kid said to him. He's like, oh, fuck me, right? And I'm like, oh,
the kid said that to him?
No, this is the drill sergeant saying it to him. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
Just shut the fuck up. It's not going to end
shut
until
up,
you shut up.
Shut up. So yeah, dude.
That's like a traffic ticket when you're yelling back at the cop.
Yeah.
Just shut up. Just shut up, and they'll go away eventually. Yeah. Ticket or not, just shut up.
For real. So yeah, man, that was the first day, man. You just get fucking pounded that first day, and honestly, man, basic training, it was fun. You learn a lot. You do a lot of
shooting
cool
guns and stuff.
You do a lot of cool shit.
Teamwork.
And, you know, you have your days where it's broken up into phases. So your first phase is, you know, always the shittiest, and gets a little bit easier towards the end. You get to do more stuff, have more fun and whatnot. But yeah, basic training, man. I mean, it's a lot of people always ask me, oh, is it like the movies? Do they fucking hate you? This, that, and that. I'm like, no. I'm like, get this fucking movie shit out of your fucking head.
It's fucking
like,
Hollywood. That's what it
is. Is some of it relatable? Yes. Okay, some of it is, right? But like,
is it like Jarhead?
Yeah, it's like you know, you get questions like, I'm like, all right, like relax. Like it's also a fucking movie, so.
Yeah, I saw Jake Gyllenhaal down. He was a couple bunks down from me.
Dude, yeah, like unbelievable, man. But yeah, so I did that, man, and my parents came down. I was when I graduated in like December 2014.
Oh, so it was only a couple months after.
Yeah, it's only a few months long, man. It's not that bad.
And so now from your graduation, now what happens?
Yeah, so based off of what I was doing, because I was doing the whole SF thing, I had to go to airborne school. So basically, like when I graduated basic training, I like fell into that 2-week like Christmas leave period. So I fortunately got to go home. I didn't have to go like straight to airborne school. So I came home for 2 weeks. Then I went back like right after New Year's, and I went to airborne school. A little more big boy rules, stuff like that.
And where was it? Where was airborne school?
Same place, Fort Benning.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so went back down to Fort Benning, and I think it was like a 3-week school. But yeah, at the end, like your last week, you go jump out of planes a couple times, and yeah, man. So it was like I was getting real like, I guess, out of my comfort zone a little bit. You know what I mean? I was doing shit. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go jump out of a plane, like.
That's extreme.
You know what I mean? But you do it your first time, and then it's cool, and then 25, 26 jumps later, or whatever I had when I finished off, I was like, oh, this kind of sucks now. You know what I mean?
So what sucks about it?
Because in your body. So like,
because you told me a little bit. So
yeah,
break it down as if we're 5 years old.
Yeah. So like a lot of people don't realize like,
and airborne is.
Yeah. So people see like, the super high speed movies and shit, and think like everything's just like free falling.
Tom Cruise,
cool shit.
Mission
Yeah. Right.
Impossible.
So airborne school
Halo
is just
jumps.
Yeah. Airborne school is just static line jumping. So basically what it means is, without getting like too technical, you basically have what we call a static line. It's basically almost like a fucking rope, essentially. We'll just call it that for right now. It's got a hook on the end of it. There's cables that run along like the fuselage of the plane. All right, so you hook up and it's routed into your parachute. So when you hook up, they give you all the commands. You go to jump out the door. You pass off the fucking static line to the jump master who's at the door. And basically when you jump, you free fall for, I don't know, 5-6 seconds probably. And that rope essentially pulls the parachute on its own.
Oh,
so you don't do anything other than just land.
So you're just experiencing it for the first couple times.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, if it doesn't work, you know what I mean, you have a malfunction, then you pull your reserve.
Are you by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything's by yourself. So you do that. The only thing you can really control as far as like static line jumping is your direction, kind of. Not even then, really. You may go a couple inches here or there, but based off the wind. You know what I mean? Based off, at night you fall a little bit faster for some reason. I don't know why.
Really?
I don't know why. I don't know. I don't even know if that's really a thing.
Because you can't fucking see.
They just say, yeah. So I don't know. It may be a thing. I don't really know. Like I never really noticed it that much, but whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, man, we call it pulling a slip. So basically when you're about to land, you try to go with the wind so you can catch as much air as you can to hopefully land as softly as you can. So basically, you pull from the risers, you pull them down whichever way you need to, and then you land. And you land like a big bag of shit. You know what I mean? Because there's like, it's supposed to slow you down. It doesn't really slow you down that much. But then, at least when I went to my unit, then you start to do like combat jumps, which is basically you're rigged up with all of your shit. So
and that equals what for you?
That equals a lot of fucking pain. Okay. I remember the most painful jump I ever had, dude. We were flying from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, flying down to Texas. So straight shot. I had 110-pound pack between my legs, so right on my nuts. I had my fucking rifle here. So I had all my extra machine gun equipment in there. My reserve, my main pack, all this fucking shit, right? So, I mean, you're talking roughly at that point, I'm probably like 400 or 500 pounds maybe, but including my own body weight and everything. Yeah. So we're standing up, man, like we're getting ready to go. I'm all hooked up and everything. And one of the jump masters was walking by and he was like, "Come on, man, be paratroopers." And I was like, "Fuck you, sir." And I don't know if he heard me or not. I hope he did. I like to this day I have no, because I was like keeled over, like about to fucking pass out.
Which is hot and shit too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, so you're sweating, bro. I mean, you're fucking nut to fucking butt with other fucking dudes, and yeah, dude, it was just it was shitty, man. It was shitty. I remember like I like passed off my static line, I just like fell out of the fucking plane, dude, because like I just had so much weight on me. But yeah, dude, hit the ground like a big bag of shit. And
how much of those drops hurt?
Dude, I mean,
joints and shit.
It depends, man. Like, I feel like you don't feel it in the moment because a lot of it's just adrenaline.
Yeah, just jumped out of a fucking plane.
Yeah, I mean, I've had days where like I've fucking jumped, I've landed, I've hit my head, and definitely had a concussion, but that's not really my priority at the moment. So you just keep going or whatever. But yeah, dude, I mean, it hurts. I've seen dudes. I'll ever see a dude like I think he like broke his spine. Like, dude, it was like a few feet away from me. So I mean, shit happens, man. Crazy shit. I've seen fucking dudes' arms all fucked up because they get wrapped up in the static lines, and
the line cuts through their arms.
Crazy. I actually saw a dude die. To be honest with you, that shit was crazy. Literally, I probably shouldn't be telling this, but whatever. I was in Bulgaria. It was actually my last year I was in Bulgaria. And it was they were doing like this whole joint like training mission. They had the Canadian Army there, and one of their planes was flying over. All of a sudden you see, so they started dropping dudes, and all of a sudden you see this dude just fucking long dart.
Oh.
And we're like, me and like one of my team leaders, we were there like doing some training or whatever, and I'm like watching it, and I'm like,
it was part of your units? No,
it's one of the we found out later it was one of the Canadians, and he's like long darting to the ground.
Oh Jesus.
And I'm like, oh my, and we could see like just above the tree line. So when like right when he disappeared, like he hadn't pulled his reserve or nothing.
And you know that he's too low at that point.
You're way too low at that point, right? So if you fucking live, you're gonna be fucked up.
You're gonna be like a vegetable.
Yeah. So they got on the radio. They like basically stopped the exercise and whatever. And I went out to meet with one of the captains that was like in charge, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, this dude just fucking died. And I was like, whoa. Yeah. I talked to some of the medics, and they were like, yeah, bro, he like splatted.
So what happened? Is just chute just didn't open, or?
So yeah, they found out it was some malfunction with his equipment. I don't know specifically what it was, but it was something with her because they jump different chutes than we do. So I don't know all the technical aspect of what may have been wrong with this thing. But yeah, dude. So there's crazy shit that happens, man. It's like I don't want to say it happens all the time because it doesn't. You know what I mean?
It's a one-off occasion.
Yeah, but it's people get fucking injured, man.
Dude, like people die when they do regular skydiving, so it happens.
So it's a freak thing, man, and but I loved it. You know what I mean? Like it's a fucking adrenaline rush, and when you're sitting there and you're looking at the red light and the doors open, all you hear is just like, you know what I mean? It's loud as fuck, and yeah, it's cool, man. You're just with your boys, man, and you just you fucking hop out and go do some fun shit, and that's something that's not for everybody, but
he's literally hopping out of planes, and I'm like, "Hey, welcome to Apple. What can I help you out with?"
Yeah, dude, it was cool, man. It was cool. I did a lot of fun shit.
So now you did going from obviously airman school,
airborne
school. Sorry, airborne. See, this is why you guys talk to me like I'm 5 years old. So going from airborne school, you graduate from there, and then what's the next step now?
Yeah, so from there I went up to Fort Bragg,
back
in North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina.
Yeah, so this is my first time ever going to Bragg. I started going through basically all the special forces, not training, but I'm trying to think what's the best way to explain it. You're pretty much they put you in like a program basically, and it's to like help you succeed during when you actually go to like selection, like special forces selection. So I was there for I don't know, it's probably a couple months, maybe, and then so I did that. Went through a little bit of training they had. Went through selection. Didn't make it in selection.
And that's what for
special forces.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't make it there, man. I actually failed land nav because I had fucking like pretty much no idea what I was doing.
What is it?
Land navigation.
Oh, okay.
And their course is a very large course. It's pretty challenging, but yeah. So I didn't make it through there. Basically, they kind of put you in like a holding status, until everybody's done and they figure out where you're gonna go, what you're gonna do. This guy's like the shitty part about the story, so I fucking hate. So, anyways, once they put you in that holding process, they pretty much give you like a whole briefing of like, hey, what do you want to do next? Because pretty much everybody that's there, because you're already at Fort Bragg, everybody either goes to the 82nd Airborne Division, which is where I was because it's right down the road, or you can choose to go to Ranger Regiment selection. So I didn't want to do that. I was hell bent on like, hey, I'm gonna go to the 82nd, do my time, and I'll go back to SF selection. And a couple of my friends there at the time were like, nah, dude, just come. Let's come back to Georgia. We'll go to fucking regiment selection, da da da. And I was like, nah, man, like I really don't give a shit. Really don't want to. And so like after talking to me, I was like, fine, fuck it, I'll do it. So I got all my shit. We all fucking went, flew down to fucking Georgia. Within 5 minutes of fucking being there, I was like, I don't want to be here.
Really?
Yeah. So this is what a lot of people don't realize is like the special forces like community, at least in the Army, is fucking to be in that training or like to go to selection. I think you have to be at least 21, something like that. So majority of people that are there that are going through the selection stuff are guys that have already been in the Army for several years. They're older, so it's a little more big boy rules.
Yeah.
When you go to regiment and you go to their training and their selection and whatnot, it's all kids from basic training. So they're all still like fucking 18, 19-year-old kids that are still dumb.
Yeah.
And so
they haven't experienced shit.
Yeah, and it's just like I went from a very big boy environment to now a fucking just a hellhole. And I was like, man, like I just didn't want to fucking deal with it. And so I like started going through it, and I just left. I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, you just dipped.
Yeah, because at that point, dude, like I had been in trainings and selection. I was like, I want to go do my fucking job. I'm tired of just like this fucking somebody up my ass type of thing. And so I was like,
so you were itching to go overseas?
Yeah, dude. Like, so my two big things in the Army that I wanted to accomplish was I wanted to deploy and I wanted to make sergeant. That was it. Those were like the two main things I wanted to do. So I left there, went back up to Bragg, and I went to 82nd War Division. So which is where I spent the rest of my time in the military. But yeah, dude, it ended up being the better decision, at least for me at the time. And I did well, man.
And so you went overseas?
Yeah, I went overseas, and
so let me ask you this: so first time going overseas, obviously emotions are running a little high. You went to Iraq.
Yeah.
So what did you feel like stepping out of the plane?
I don't know, man. It's like it doesn't really. So I'll say this. So it didn't really hit me until I got into country, because for people that don't know, like when you go overseas, you don't go directly to where you're going. You'll go to Kuwait, and that's kind of like your staging point or whatever. And from Kuwait, you'll go to wherever. All right. So we're in Kuwait. Finally got a plane. The guys I was with, we went into Iraq, and we had landed. And they basically dropped the fucking ramp of the plane, and all the Air Force guys in the plane like started putting on all their fucking gear, their body armor, shit like that. And I was like, now it's real. You know what I mean? You're looking out, and it's nighttime, so you can't really see all that much. But like, okay, now it's real, right? So you get there, and like the first place we went to, man, it was we call it green zone. It was a little bit north of Baghdad. It wasn't much happening there. It wasn't really like I don't want to say dangerous place, but like a hot fucking place.
A hot terrorist.
Yeah. So we were with, I think, I don't know if it was the Iraqi army. I think it was the Iraqi army that was there. There's a bunch of militia groups that are around there. So it wasn't like a bad area to be. But I think it was maybe 2 or 3 months into the deployment, where it came down. They're like, hey, we need a platoon to go up north. Cool. So
up north is more dangerous?
Yeah, so this is like up like towards like Mosul area. So like basically where like the heart of all the shit was going on. Like, all right, cool. Whatever. So they ended up picking our platoon.
Were you excited? Ready to roll? Or was it kind of a
mixed
emotion bag?
No, I was definitely
nervous.
No, I was definitely excited to go, man, because it was we still trained at the first place we were. We still trained, and we were what we call quick reaction force. So we did a lot of stuff like that, and it was all right, man, but it kind of got monotonous, day after day. You're either sitting in the ready room for 24 hours and kind of just hanging out until they have some training or something for you to do. But yeah, I was excited about it, man, and I think you could see some guys were nervous.
Yeah,
rightfully so, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going a lot closer to a lot of shit
action.
So yeah, dude, I remember we went and we actually split our platoon at that point. So half the platoon went to, where'd they go? Shalalot. And the other half that I was in went to Hamam Alil. So not super far from each other, but kind of like two different mission sets almost, so to speak. But yeah, they split the platoon, man, and I was in Hamam Alil for a month. It was me, my squad, and we had a gun team attached to us, and we linked up with another platoon that was out there. It's pretty much just security stuff. Real shitty place, because like the platoon that had gotten there first, I was good friends with some of them, and dude, they were going in there like the first day they got there, they had got like rocket attack and everything, and I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, so that's pretty real. And so when we landed there, we landed like in the middle of an open field, and I'm like, this is the greatest spot for us to just get fucking hit right now.
Just get hit by snipers on all sides.
Yeah. So
you jumped out the plane and landed there?
No, we took a helicopter in there.
Okay.
Yeah, this landed right in the middle of the open field and brought all our shit in there and kind of figured out what was what. But yeah, it was, for that month, man, it was pretty chill. Actually, the chief of staff in the Army came by, so it was cool, man. At that point, there wasn't much supervision other than our squad leaders and stuff like that, so it wasn't too bad. It was pretty chill. But yeah, after that month, man, we got to link back up with the rest of the platoon, so we went up to Charlotte, which is like literally right outside of Missoula. So, we got the whole platoon back together, and that's when things kind of, I'll say, went south for a little bit. But yeah, we got there.
How, if you don't mind me asking, how so?
Yeah, so our lieutenant got killed when we were over there. But the whole platoon got back together and started doing some missions out there, and most of it was like security stuff, and I think they had some do like recon missions and stuff like that. Nothing like too crazy. But yeah, so there was this mission. Oh shit, dude, my back keeps. I'm gonna clean this shit up after.
You're good, bro. I don't care. You can get whiskey all over this desk. We're good. It's the podcast desk.
But
it's from IKEA. It's not made of marble. Actually, if it was made of marble, it'd be easy to clean too. So
yeah, so this mission, they went out. I'm not gonna like speak too much on the mission itself because I wasn't even out there.
You don't have to.
So like I don't.
You listen, man. You know how I rock.
Dude. Yeah.
As much or as little as you want to talk about, I'm all in, man.
So I don't know like the whole ins and outs of what the mission was, but it was. I think they took like a minimum amount of people out there. But basically, long story short, from what I got was he stepped out of the truck and basically had a wrong step, and not that he would have known, you know what I mean, but took a step. IED blew up. Or I think it ended up being like a landmine. So basically when that happened, so I had just got off of like whatever guard shift I was on. I was like literally just waking up off a nap. And one of the squad leaders like comes like fucking sprinting in, right? And I'm like kind of waking up. I see him running in. He starts yelling a bunch of numbers at me. So he's yelling these numbers at me, and I'm like, that's a DOD number. So like when you're in the military, you get a DOD ID number. So I'm like, fuck. Okay. So I go to one of the squad leaders' beds, and I like knew where all the paperwork was. And I grabbed it, and I'm like, fuck, that's Lieutenant Lee. And like, I didn't know what it was for. He just like yelled a bunch of numbers at me and then left. So I run out.
So what does that mean? Just pick a file?
Yeah, it was just like we had basically like, just to stay organized, we had all our weapon serial numbers and everything like on paper. So we knew like in case anything either happened,
just
or
found
we
a weapon,
like,
or you just found something.
Yeah, we knew like where to look to be able to identify who shit is what or who's who. So he basically threw those numbers out at me. I found out who it was. Sorry. And so I ran back out. I was like, "Hey, it's Lieutenant Lee." And he's like, "Hey, our guys got hit. I don't know what happened." Right. So we fucking run out. So I started waking up the guys. Fucking run out. Basically, like the way like the little fob was that we were at is basically it's like almost like a little fucking rectangle. But when you go out, you go around, there's like a open field here that all the helicopters would land. And so by the time we went out there, the trucks were already back. Helicopter was landed. And you can see them there like moving them into the helicopter to get them out, fly them out. And all of a sudden,
the guy that got hit.
Yeah.
So he was still alive.
At that point, yeah, he was still alive.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So fucking, I'm walking down kind of like the path or whatever, and I see a bunch of the guys that were out there kind of walking up and just like cold, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like nothing. And it's like, you're at that point where it's like, you don't want to like be overbearing. You know what I mean? Just
what happened?
It was kind of, it was kind of just like giving their space. You know what I mean? Thing. Like you could tell they're pretty locked into what was going on.
It's a hard process.
Yeah. So basically kind of let everybody get their fucking bearings and kind of cool down a little bit. And basically we kind of found out a little bit about what happened. And I think it was a couple hours later. So we were all kind of just hanging out. The battalion commander that we were attached to, goddamn, he comes to the room that we were all staying in, and he basically like wanted to get the whole platoon together. And so I mean, everybody, like the only thing we knew was like he got flown out, he was in surgery. That was kind of it. Right? That was kind of, at least up until that point, that's all we knew.
What were the extent of his injuries? Like, what was it?
So from what I remember, I think both his legs were gone,
God.
and I think one of his hands. I think. I could be wrong, Again, like I said,
It's okay.
I wasn't
No,
there. So
I'm not holding you.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, so I didn't witness everything specifically, but yeah, dude. So we got the whole platoon together, and battalion commander comes in, and he's like, "All right, guys, like I want you to hear it from me. You know, I want you guys to hear it first. Like, Lieutenant Lee didn't make it through surgery. He's gone." And like, dude, I don't remember anything from that point on. Like, I kind of like blacked out, because it was just like it was one of those deployments, dude. Like, we weren't really supposed to lose anybody. You know what I mean? And it was
weird that you did.
It was just the fact that you did. You know what I mean? Because I think in that environment, whether if you're in a combat job or something, the thought of losing one of your guys is always there. You know what I mean? Especially as a leader. Like, I was a team leader at the time. Losing one of your guys, I think the thought of it is always there. But like, you just until it fucking happens, if it ever does, God forbid it does.
Yeah, you almost feel like it's not going to happen to me.
You're just like,
we're going to be good.
Yeah, you're like, holy fuck, it actually happened. And so it did, man. And they kind of gave us the rest of the night off to kind of just get ourselves together, like collect ourselves, and just give us some time to fucking breathe. And I remember, the next day, my platoon sergeant, who he's like another father to me, man. And
you still stay in touch?
Yeah, I actually just saw him recently at one of the guys' weddings. But yeah, I remember he came. He was going around basically to each bunk that we had, and so he came to Miles, like one of the last ones, and he came over to me. He's like, "Hey man, you good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, still got a job to do." You know what I mean? It was, because dude, we still had like, maybe 4 or 5 months of deployment left, so we still had a good amount of time to go. So. And he was telling me, I guess he couldn't really sleep last night, so he was kind of just like walking around, just making sure everybody was like okay, asleep in their boat. You know what I mean? And just make sure.
Yeah, he's almost getting overprotective now.
Yeah, and so which that shows us the type of leader that he is. You know what I mean? The type of guy that he is.
Somebody that you'd want to be a leader.
Yeah, to get up and do something like make sure every single one of his guys was fucking asleep, and not off suffering somewhere. So. Yeah, I mean it was tough, and I think a couple days. I don't know if it was that day or maybe a couple days after we had like the memorial for him. And dude, I had never cried so much in my life, and it was just. I think that point in time was like, and it sucks to like. I think that it happened then and in that way. That was like the tightest I think we had all ever fucking been, and it was like that's when they talk about. This is my opinion. Is I feel like that's a lot of the shit they talk about when they talk about like brotherhood and shit like that. Is we didn't like they had talked to us about getting a new lieutenant. We're like, fuck that. Like, we're good. We're like, Sergeant Bell that was our platoon sergeant. We're like, Sergeant Bell's got this. We don't want another fucking lieutenant. We don't need another fucking lieutenant. No. And obviously we get overruled. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they send some little fucking dickbag lieutenant over to us, and that nobody fucking liked.
Of course.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think that lasted a couple weeks and he was gone. But he was the type of lieutenant that he came in and he was like, "Hey guys, I'm Lieutenant so-and-so. I went to Princeton. I did this." He was just like boasting about himself. And we were like, "Yo, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even want you here, bro."
As the Brits would say, mad country.
Yeah. And so he left and they gave us another lieutenant, and it was Lieutenant Brammer, who we're all still close with, man. And that dude like came in and did exactly what we wanted him to do. He came in, he was like...
Just fit.
He was like, "I'm Lieutenant Brammer. I'm your new lieutenant. I know what happened to you guys. That's it." And we're like, "Cool. Roger that." And that was it. And we're like, that's what we needed. It was like, "You're here to work? Good. Great." Because we already dealt with enough. Like, we don't need another lieutenant, but if you're here to work, cool.
Yeah.
And he ended up fitting in great, man. You know what I mean? Like, he vibed with us and did things at our pace. As far as like meshing with us, he wasn't too much, you know what I mean? He wasn't too little. He worked with us, which is good. But yeah, man, so we went through the rest of the deployment and came home. And that was that, man.
Yeah.
And
so now when did you FaceTime me from Saddam's
Saddam's
palace?
Dude.
Yo, dude, you FaceTime me? This motherfucker FaceTimes me. And I'm like, "Yo, where are you?" And he's kind of just like looking around with the camera. He goes, "Yo, man." I said, "First off, how do you have cell phone connection? Because my shit doesn't work in Old Westbury, but it seems like you're in the middle of fucking nowhere and you have crystal clear connection."
Yes, the Wi-Fi thing is weird there, man. We had to get they call them pucks. They're almost like a little like mobile hotspot you carry around with you, right?
Yeah.
So we had those.
Does each guy have one, or does everybody use one?
So each guy would,
because otherwise, if everyone's using the same one,
you'd have to go buy one. So basically, a lot of time what we had was we'd have somebody like some of the Terps or whatever, or we'd have vendors that come in from like the cities around there, and you buy it from them. But they're all vetted and stuff like that, so they're all good. But yeah, you go, you buy your little puck thing, you buy, whatever SIM card you need, and it just works like regular Wi-Fi, man.
Dude, it was great.
Yeah, so it was cool, man, because obviously you hear all those stories, of people writing letters and shit like that, like way back in the day, and some of that shit still happens. But
my man is FaceTime sexting with broads back in the U.S. He's like, ladies, you like the camo?
But yeah, dude. So to be able to FaceTime was, it was good for like my family and stuff like that. Just to
gave mom some ease too.
Yeah, dude. And that was like I think that was the tough thing when we lost our lieutenant, man. Was so basically you have to go into, it's like a mandatory call, like a blackout period, where so like nobody's allowed to go on social media, you can't go on your phone, nothing like that. They gave us like a couple minutes to basically call your family and say, hey, I'm okay, something happened, I'll talk to you when I can.
Oh, mom must
and so like I felt bad because like it's like you're like stringing it right in front of them, but you can't give them, it's like, here, can you choose a fucking snack?
Are they listening to you?
Yeah. So like they hear me and they're like, okay, like.
No, I mean, are they listening? Like the commanding officers, are they listening?
No. This was all like
bugging your phone.
Yeah, we did this like all in our bay and like where we were sleeping, and give you a couple minutes, and that was it. Because you have to go through that process. Like the Army has to officially tell the family and stuff like that. They don't want families finding out through social, through fucking Facebook, because that'd be fucked up, right? So, so you go through your blackout period, but. Yeah, I mean, other than that, man, like it was cool. It was good for my family because they could see me on FaceTime every now and then, if I had the time, and it was good. We're fortunate enough, at least in this time period, to be able to do shit like that.
Yeah.
To where you can actually get FaceTime in the absolute most hellhole of the fucking world, and.
So tell me, how'd you get to Saddam's palace? I need to know.
So it was actually like the one. So he's got like several palaces around there. But the one that we went to, they were already using, like the Iraqi army was already using. So basically we came in there, and that's kind of like where we're operating off, because it was like literally, I think it was on like the eastern side of Mosul, I believe. I'd have to look at it again, but I'm pretty sure it was on like the eastern side of Mosul. So I mean, you're fucking right. You're right there. But yeah, we broke down the little operating base that we were at, and fucking moved over there. So basically, like what was happening was the fight was kind of like ending at that point, and they were basically like pushing ISIS out of the Mosul area. So it was almost like we were at like moving as the fight was going, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, we went there and we spent the last, I don't know, maybe a month or two there, if I can remember. Yeah, probably the last month or two. And yeah, we built that place up, man. It became home. There was, I guess, at one point they dropped a fucking like JDAM or something through the roof. So there's a big ass hole right in the middle, and the room that I was fucking sleeping in, somebody fucking like hit the roof with a fucking with a broomstick, and just bats just started flying out everywhere. Yeah, it was a shithole, man. But it's
probably nice back in the day.
Yeah, dude. Back in the day, dude, it was probably fucking shit, I imagine. But
it's like Disney World in the middle of nowhere.
It was funny, man. Like one of the days we were there, we had a SEAL team come in because they were supposed to stay there and like operate out of there.
So let me ask you real quick, and I want you to continue with the story. Were the SEAL guys more serious than you guys? Like, did they?
All right, so
were they like ice cold dudes?
I'm gonna break this down.
Break it down.
Because I really don't care who's fucking listening. SEALs are fucking assholes. All right, I'm not even joking, bro. So when I was at Himamalaya, we had a SEAL team come in because a lot of like SF guys and shit, they would come in there to like refit and shit.
And for you guys, it's the Army Rangers,
SF, and then they have Delta Force.
Okay. Who's the highest one? So they all like even.
Yeah. Delta. Well, we call them CAG, but yeah, they're
for the Army. It's Delta.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so SEALs would come in. They basically come in. They get like fuel for their vehicles and eat like most of our food, and then just fucking leave. And so they do this thing where they'll be eating, right, and they'll just look at you like you're just a piece of shit because you're not like up to their like level. And I'm looking back and I'm like,
who are you staring at?
Yeah,
bro?
Well, what's your fucking problem, dude? So they're cool. Like the Marine guys. So the Marine has a MARSOC. Those guys are actually very cool. They're like super nice. You know what I mean? Cool guys to talk to. So they come
and you had Delta guys there?
Not there, no. So we saw them like in passing when General Milley he came by. He had some of those guys with him. I didn't talk to any of them though.
Did they seem generally cooler than the SEALs? Nicer?
I'm sure they are. I don't know. To be honest with you, I think I've spoken to maybe like 2 or 3 of them from like some training I went to when I was at Bragg. Those guys are cool. You know what I mean? But any active guys, I don't specifically know of any active ones that I've spoken to. But yeah, SEALs, dude.
SEALs are dicks.
Oh my god.
So if you get anything from this podcast, war is hell, SEALs are dicks.
Yeah, so and this goes to show you, right? So the SEAL team comes to Saddam's palace that we're at. So basically our platoon had like pretty much the whole like top floor, and we're kind of spread out throughout around there. And basically the way it was all set up and the amount of people we had there, we couldn't give them like their own floor for like just them. And so like, nah, fuck this. Like, we're out. Like, oh, my bad, guys.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, fucking prima donnas.
You know what? We just got new mattresses from the IKEA. Dude. The bed frames are coming in later today. Yeah. We went to 1-800 mattresses. We got you everything that you need. Just give us a couple of minutes. They got to deliver it, guys.
Yeah. So
and we have professional pedicurists coming in to get your feet done.
Oh my god, damn. But like, it's funny because like most of the special operations guys that we've seen or work with, for most part, are all fucking cool, except for them. Those guys are fucking dicks. But other than that, man, like most of the guys are pretty cool. But
so let me ask you. So what's in a day's work? What are you doing besides patrolling and stuff like that? Is that really what you're doing, or are you?
It all depends, man.
Give me an example. Just one day. Give me an example.
So like let's see, like when we were at Charlotte, like one of the big things we were doing was they call them KLE, so key leader engagements, right? So the battalion commander we would go out, we would basically attach to. He basically go meet with Iraqi army generals and their staff or whatever and basically talk about what's going on, what the plan is going forward, how they're going to do things, what they need from us, all that shit, right? So basically we'd roll in there and start setting up security positions around there in case they got attacked then. You know what I mean?
And so now what's the general vibe with the Iraqi army? Are they strong? Are they not? Like, what is it? They cool? They nice?
From what I've seen, so it's hard to communicate with them, so we try to learn Arabic a little bit while we were there. They're nice guys though, man. Like they're fans of us, you know what I mean? So I think we work well together with them, but they would do well when we were there offering them like air support and stuff like that because it allowed them to move forward, you know what I mean, and fight a little bit further. But I guess, so I remember basically like the tail end of the fight in Mosul, they I don't even know, they had like a little bit left to go clear. And I think like their back of the area they were claiming was like a fucking river. Like they literally just had like finished the fight and that was it. And I guess at one point they stopped because like basically the way it worked, like we couldn't offer them air support at that time, you know, because it was just too close, too dangerous, you know what I mean, for us to start dropping shit. And, you know, now you're talking front casualties and stuff like that. So it gets a little more technical, but basically the brigade commander we had, in a nice way, was probably not in a nice way, I don't know, but he was basically telling him like, fuck off, like you need to go finish the job. And so the brigade commander we had, he's actually general now, it's general work. Dude, this guy, the most hyped up man I've ever seen in my life. Like if this dude was like, hey, me and you, we're gonna go fucking fight 10 tanks right now, just me and you. Okay.
Oh, that's how. Yeah. Oh, he would just get you hyped up?
So I think he played football at West Point. I mean, he's just like a fucking
brick shithouse
juggernaut, dude. Like this dude he just does not stop. He just goes and goes and goes, and he's so hyped up all the fucking time, and you're just like, yeah, dude, let's go. I'll do
caffeine,
whatever you want, dude. Yeah, like you like he's so hyped up that you're hyped up for like no reason. Like he'll just be like, oh fuck, you want to drink fucking whiskey? Yeah, I want to drink whiskey.
Like,
I want some fucking whiskey.
He's taking shots of espresso and doing lines of desert sand.
So yeah, man. So I think he got into their ass a little bit, and they ended up finishing the fight. But yeah, so we go on those type of missions, man. There was actually a point in time where I'm probably giving out too much information, but whatever. So there was like an abandoned hotel.
I don't know if do they give a fuck? It's all like
it's all in the past anyways. But so there was like an abandoned hotel in Mosul. Across the way there was a fucking hospital. So apparently the hotel was not the hotel, the hospital was occupied by ISIS, and
so that's who your main
that's like
is.
the
It
main
was
threat
ISIS.
is, right? So we brought in another company who had what we call tow missiles, and so basically we lugged all this fucking shit up, all this equipment, all the way to the roof of the hotel. And like we stayed there for a day, and we came back, went back another day. Basically, we were launching missiles from the top of the roof into the fucking hospital
all day.
Not all day, but like throughout the day, throughout the night. As long as they could get like heat signatures and be able to identify targets.
Yeah, so it's not just random blasting.
No, yeah, we're not just like randomly just launching fucking hate into this building. So
launching hate.
Yeah. So we were doing that, man. So that was a cool mission set we had. Yeah, dude. But other than that, man, a lot of it was some, tedious guard duty stuff, and we go on a mission every now and then, do whatever. I guess you call it patrol. I mean, but we're doing those key leader engagements, and you're technically like on patrol. You know what I mean? At the same time.
Did you ever come into contact with direct enemy fire, anything like that?
Not me specifically. So we didn't take a whole platoon out on every patrol. So a couple of ones that I wasn't on, they actually did. So yeah, it's out there, man. It happens.
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, I remember. I think it was one of my. I don't know which one it was. I've been out a few times though, but it was like, it was one of our first missions where our new lieutenant I got there, and we're like on our way out, and all of a sudden I hear like, and like I knew it was like RPG. It wasn't near us, but like it was close enough to where I could fucking hear it like clear as day. And I was like, sir, that's an RPG. Like,
y'all hearing this? Because this shit's crazy.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, I mean, you hear it. It fucking happens, man. Like there was one night we were held up somewhere in Missoula, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, dude. I mean, it's probably like 2 blocks away on a bunch of gunshots,
chain guns and shit.
Yeah, I mean, so we're like, everybody get up, get your shit. So we had all our shit on, until it all calmed down or whatever. But yeah, I mean,
who were they firing against? Just Iraqi army?
The Iraqi army, yeah. So our job wasn't necessarily to like go there and like fight. Like we were basically just the whole point is to let the Iraqi army like win. This is your fight.
Yeah,
like
win.
We'll help you, but you need to fight.
You need to win.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
It's like that. It's like that. The Peter Griffin, the Family Guy. Mm-hmm. He's just sitting there with a stick, and he's like, "Come on, do something."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, there's we're there to help him out, but
and now let me ask you, when did you become a sergeant?
It wasn't until after deployment, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was a corporal in deployment.
And how many tours did you do? Just one?
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a 9-month tour. It was January 2017. I got back in September 2017.
Okay.
Well, yeah, January to September. So yeah, I did the one tour, man, 9 months. Got back, went right into another. Well, we had like a month off of leave, but went right back to another training cycle, and then so for every once you go become a sergeant, or right before you get promoted, you basically have to go through a leadership school, and that's for every rank of sergeant that you go through. So went through most of our training cycle, and then I went to the leadership school and knocked that out. Got promoted, I don't know, like a month or two later. Yeah, and then I made sergeant, and a lot of things you do, like at least in our environment, was a lot of guys were doing a job above their rank. So typically, like your job has a rank associated with it. So team leaders were supposed to be sergeants. Most of our team leaders were specialists or corporals, which is the same rank. But most of our squad leaders, after deployment, ended up being sergeants, which are supposed to be a staff sergeant. Theoretically, by the book. So a lot of us were doing, you're doing a job above your rank. But it looks good, if you stay and you get promoted and stuff like that. But
so you got promoted after the tour. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a little bit after the tour, man, and it was good. I made sergeant, and that was something.
I think that was one of your checklists.
I think now it's a little bit easier to make sergeant, but
it was hard when you did it.
A little bit, to an extent. Yeah, dude, it was one of those things, man. It was on my fucking list of one of those things I wanted to accomplish, and it was a big deal for me, and
it's a big deal in general, man.
It was an accomplishment, man. I felt, at the end of the day. And
Well, you can't let anybody else take that away from you. That's
no,
the,
yeah, I don't,
that's the end
yeah,
of the mission.
yeah.
Even guys in the Army, I'm sure, like, that look and go, oh, well, it's sort of easy to get now. It's like, doesn't matter. It's still an
Yeah.
accomplishment to get to that rank.
Yeah.
Because think about the guys that didn't even get past the day one of the paperwork.
Yeah, for sure,
And
man.
think about how much you experienced: loss, victory,
yeah,
camaraderie, rallyment, stuff like all the boys together.
Yeah, dude.
And just how much it's changed you as a human being. That's probably the biggest.
Yeah, so it's funny, man, because I was over there when I was 24. I turned 25 over there, so I was still a fucking kid.
Yeah,
I mean, not that I'm like fucking old now, but like I was 24 years old. You know what I mean? On deployment overseas, seeing the fucking worst of the world. You know what I mean? And I came back here, and you see people that are your age, and you almost like, because of your life experiences, dude. Like you're almost like, all right, man, I'm a little bit older than that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe not physically,
spirit
but like,
wise, and
like
mentality.
You see some shit, you deal with some shit, and even like our home life when we were here stateside, you still deal with some shit, man. Like you do, dude. There was a point in my time where our last training cycle I was in was like so hellacious. It was like the worst one we'd ever been. It was so busy, dude. There was multiple divorces in my platoon alone going on. So it's not even just like a lot of people think about did you see this? Did you see that when you're overseas? Da, 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 da. It's not just like the overseas thing. There's a lot of shit that happens back home that it fucks you up. You know what I mean? And even like when we lost Lieutenant Lee, man, everybody was fine when we got home, because like you're home, you're excited, like that home life hasn't really like sat in with you yet to where you're like, okay, now I'm back home. Now I have a lot of fucking time to think about a lot of shit. And so, guys drank, and it is what it is, man. But you find a way to keep going. But a lot of people focus so heavily on being deployed and what happens over there versus, hey, man, what's happening back here when you get home? And that ends up being the bigger problem.
The cancer that eats away at you.
Yeah, that's the bigger problem. So,
do you find that it was super hard to have for guys? I mean, you weren't in a relationship when you were away, were you? When you were deployed?
No.
Do you find that watching the guys that it was super difficult for them to keep these relationships afloat and thriving? So,
fortunately for us, at least that I know of, the guys that in my platoon that were married or had girlfriends didn't have any issues, which is great. You know what I mean? So it was all good, and it helped, man, because we had several guys like squad leaders and my platoon sergeant, guys that have deployed several times. So like they knew what it was like. They knew the experiences, and you could go to them and be like, hey, like I'm having this issue or that issue if you needed to.
Tough day.
So like I said, fortunately, nobody had those issues, at least that I know of, which is a good thing, right? Like you don't want any of those problems. But it was good to have that leadership, especially leadership that's been deployed before, that's gone through experiences or seen other people go through those experiences, that you can at least talk to and be like, hey, what do I do?
Yeah, I'm going through some shit. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Which I think is the biggest thing, and that's just not only for that, but that's in life in general. People just need to learn how to ask for help.
Yeah.
They need to learn to just say, hey, I'm kind of in the shits right now. Can you just, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I get from here to there? How do I just be better?
Yeah.
And get better?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably jumping the gun here a little bit, but that goes into what happened to me last year was, and this is a conversation I had with my buddy I was telling you about, the whole Instagram live thing, was there's like this fucking stereotype when it comes to the military, especially in the infantry world, that like you just keep going, man. You know what I mean? Shit happens, you just keep going, right? And like they always tell you, just keep driving on, keep going. Well, you keep going, dude, and you keep pushing shit down. That shit's gonna come back, and it's gonna come back full fledged.
Bites you in the ass.
So there's that kind of, I don't know if it's a stigma really, but it's that saying of keep driving on, keep going, just keep going. And yeah, you can keep going, dude, and you can keep going for a certain amount of time until that shit blows up right in your face, and which is what happened to me a year ago. So, a year ago, man, I sat here and basically that exact saying is what happened. Everything came around and fucking bit me in the ass. And it was on a day, it was on a night that I did not foresee it coming, did not think it was going to happen, nothing. So, people that don't know that story, I've opened up with some people about it, but this goes directly in relation to not asking for help. You know what I mean? You want to sit here and be a hardo all day long, it's fine, but
you got to be able to fight your own demons.
Yeah, so
because they're there, and everyone has them.
Yeah, everyone does, man, and I think the stereotype is, again, when it comes back to the military, is a lot of people. When I started kind of opening up about what happened, everybody went to, what happened in the military, this and that. I said, that's part of it. I was like, but there's shit in my personal life I don't fucking tell you people. It's not really your business. You know what I mean? But it ended up being a combination of a million different things that spiraled me to the point that I did. And this is why, like, the last thing I was talking about with the whole Instagram live thing I did with one of my buddies was, just ask for help, man. Whatever it is, whether it's something combat related, or if it's fucking life related, whatever, man. Like, is somebody's gonna listen, you know what I mean? And somebody may not have a solution, but they'll be able to help you. You know what I mean? So basically a year ago, actually almost a year ago, beginning of January, it'll be a year. I was basically home, making dinner, drinking a little bit. Like, it wasn't like I wasn't even trying to drink to get like fucked up right now. I was like drinking, literally making dinner. Started drinking more. And then all of a sudden, and this is why I think like alcohol it's one of those things where people call it a depressant. Yeah, it's a depressant. It is. But for those first few drinks, man, it's not. You know what I mean? It's going to make you forget a little bit about what happened until you keep drinking. And then you start thinking about all that fucking dark shit. So basically that's what happened, man. And so I ended up blacking out. Woke up the next morning. I had all my guns in my house are loaded. All right, so I have one of my pistols in my hand, loaded. I had a bottle in my other hand, and I was on the kitchen floor. So I woke up and I'm like, fuck. So roll over, put the gun down. Phone was dead. All of a sudden, I go upstairs. I'm like, all right, like, let me just try to go back to sleep for a second. Put my phone on the charger. I don't even know how long I was asleep. I don't think it was that long. But I hear fucking banging on my door. I go down. It's my ex. My ex I dated in Florida. And fucking open the door, hysterically crying. And like, so now, dude, I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm trying to play catch up now because I haven't, like, I knew the situation I was when I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to figure out, like, how did I get there? And so basically, I, like, found out I had sent out a bunch of messages, a lot of different people, like, concerning type shit. Like, shit that made it sound like I was going to kill myself. And so I was like, okay, let me kind of just take a breath here,
roll back,
slow down, and figure out where this is all coming from. So I hadn't read any of the messages until, like, it was maybe like a month or two after the whole incident where I actually finally read the messages. But the scary part about it was, like, all that shit I was feeling, man, like, I was fucking blackout drunk. So had I pulled the fucking trigger, I had zero control. You know what I mean? And that to me is what scared me the most, was I put myself to a point of zero control at all. And so I started to think about my friends, my family. Like, if I did it and didn't make it, there was no way I would have been able to explain any of it. So it got to me, man. So I flew home. I flew home that night. I called out of work for 2 days.
So you?
Yeah. So I remember I came home. I was like literally sitting on my bed. My mom came home and she like hugged me and I just started fucking crying, dude. Because I was like, I don't know what's happening to me. This was all new for me. Like, I'd never been this bad. Like, I knew my drinking actually started to get real bad in college. It was my senior year of college. That was when I started to get real bad. Kind of toned it back when I got into the military. And then after I got back from deployment, it started up a little bit again and again and again. And it wasn't really till my last year where it started getting bad, like real bad. And then, all led up to this incident. So
Kenji just yawning.
Excuse you, bro.
Are we boring you,
Yeah, I'm
Kenji?
fucking boring you. Goddamn story.
This is a serious part of the story. God damn,
Jesus
Kenji. For those that couldn't hear, he yawned.
Holy shit. But yeah, so I came home for those 2 days, man, and I finally told my parents everything, like from start to finish, everything that was going on, from my personal life to the army, everything. And yeah, it was shitty, man. It was shitty, and I went back and talked to one of my boys I work with now, and he was like, "Hey, man, like, you need to go see somebody." And like, me, I was like, "Fuck that! I ain't gonna fucking do that. Fuck that." Blah 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 blah. And he talked me into it, and I was like, "Fine, I'll go." So I went, and the lady I spoke to, she like primarily works with like law enforcement and veterans, stuff like that. And I fucking I almost had it out with her. Like, I fucking hated her because all she was doing was just challenging me. And it pissed me off because I got to say something and she tried to like tell me I'm wrong. And I was like, well, I don't fuck, you know what I mean? Like, I don't lie. I don't like, you ain't gonna fucking tell me I'm wrong.
Dude, Kenji just sneezing over there.
I know, bro.
What is up, man?
Staring at me
Here,
like it's my fault.
Go back to sleep, Kenji.
But yeah, so, I went through all that, man, and I quit drinking for a couple months, and I had a lot of people, like, when I started drinking, everybody's like, "Oh, I thought you were fucking done.
Are you okay?
I thought you quit drinking, blah,
okay?
blah, blah." And I was like, I never said I was going to quit drinking. I said I was going to stop for a little bit.
I
said I didn't know how long it was going to be for. I said, but I knew in that point in time, yeah, I had to stop drinking. So I did. You know what I mean? And I got myself back to fucking normal to where I can fucking sit here and have a drink. You know what I mean? And we're having a good time. We're talking, whatever. You know what I mean? And because I genuinely like to hang out with my friends, have a couple beers, do whatever, you know what I mean? And be in a good environment. But yeah, this shit ain't the answer, man, because, I used to use alcohol. Alcohol was like my thing, man.
It was a crush.
It was my fucking thing, dude. Like, anytime I just felt any type of way, dude, I fucking drank. Like, my ex that I actually moved to Florida with, I dated while I was in the military. I remember she actually fucking, I was pissed drunk. We got a big ass fucking argument. She's like, "You're the one with a fucking drinking problem." What do you think that did?
That made you more angry.
Dude. So I fucking threw my ex, dude. You know what I mean? I'd fucking, it was bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I look back on those times, man, and think about what led me to that and becoming that type of person. And even back in college when I was with, dude, I was destructive back then. Like, a lot of people don't even know that about me, bro. I had to pay so much fucking money to the house I was living in because I fucking put holes all in it, punching all fucking everything I could, bashed my fucking head through a fucking mirror one day because we were in a fight. And like, a lot of this shit is shit I don't even remember, bro. Like, I fucking, like, I put my head through a fucking mirror and I fucking realized it the next morning because, like, I woke up and I, like, ran my fingers through my head and a whole bunch of glass was, like,
blood.
Yeah. And, like, I would, like, go look in the fucking bathroom and the whole fucking mirror is shattered. And I'm like, oh, makes sense. So I've done a lot of stupid shit, man. I was, like, super destructive and, like, that's scary. You know what I mean? Because, like, how far does it get?
Yeah.
To where, like, something real fucking bad, you know what I mean? Something real fucking bad happens, right? So
yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes people have to hit rock bottom to.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
To get to the point where they go, okay, I need help. And this is something that I need to get under control.
And that's
whether
exactly
it's going cold
happened.
turkey, whether it's dialing it back 110% and just going, well, I need to just stop, and then I can control myself and have a couple here and there and with friends, and it's not going to be an every day, every night type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, man. Life is fucking hard, okay? Because we all go through shit. I've had some really dark thoughts in my days, man. We all have really dark thoughts. It's unfortunately, it's kind of like, it's like the world we live in. There's so many different stressors and pressures and things that we have to do.
Yeah.
And by this age, you should be here. And by this, you should have this much money. And you need to be investing. And you need to be having a house. You need to be having a career. And, oh, you don't have kids yet. It's just like constant, just all around you. And you just got to be able to just, at some point, you hit that point where you're just like, okay, everyone shut the fuck up. I'm going to do things that are good for me. And I have to focus on me. Yeah. And this is like my wake-up call. You know, people have it with health, not even mental stuff. Yeah. People have it with, holy shit, doctor said if I have another cheeseburger, I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to have a heart attack right here and die. Yeah. So now it's time to get on my fitness grind. Yeah. So,
well, you know, that's the thing is, one of the beneficial things for me now, at least opening up about what happened and what was going on, was there's been several people that have come to me now, like in private, and have told me like, hey, I'm having these thoughts, or I've had these thoughts, or this, that, and the third. And it's like, all right, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Because for the longest time, I was the same way. I ain't gonna fucking talk about it. Fuck you. I don't want to talk about this shit because, every time I came home, I was always the army guy, right? I was always
ice cold,
the one out. Yeah, just like. And for me, I never wanted to be like the fucking weak person, and like I always thought therapy was a bunch of bullshit, and I never wanted to be looked at as like that person. Until you get to the fucking rock bottom, and you're like, oh,
I need some of that.
I get it.
I need some of that love. I need some of that.
Yeah.
That I need someone to just have an ear and
Yeah.
just be able to tell me their opinion on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
that's
dude.
what this is for. That's what this platform is for.
Yeah.
I started the podcast, and I say this almost every episode. I started the podcast because I just want to have real conversations with people. I just want people to just hear
Yeah.
real stories and real shit.
Mhm.
Because unless you're driving to your job from Smithtown to Comac every single day and you don't do anything else, or you're just doing your normal monotonous type shit,
Yeah.
and you don't realize like there's some people that have had some crazy shit happen to them, and there's some people that have some crazy stuff, and until that fight knocks on your door front, like whether that's mental, whether that's physical, whatever it might be,
Yeah.
until that knocks on your doorstep, you don't have these experiences to hear about. So that's what this is for, realness.
Yeah.
Tyler and I used to talk all the time about mental health and stuff like that. I'm going to do an episode with Jamal soon about men's mental health.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a pussy if you go and ask for help. Like,
Yeah.
you're not somebody that's weak if you need help.
And that's the thought, man. Like that's the stigma is like as a fucking man, a lot of dudes out there are like, I don't want to fucking be that guy.
Yeah.
No, yes, you do. Trust me.
Yeah.
You want to be that guy because you're gonna get to a point. I don't care how fucking strong you think you fucking are, bro. I don't care. It doesn't fucking matter. It does not matter to me because you're going to get to a point where something is going to happen and you're going to get to that rock bottom, whether it's something in your fucking job, something you see on the side of the road, something in your family, something's going to happen, you know what I mean, where you're going to get fucking low. It may not be rock bottom, but you're going to get fucking low. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. It's life. And if you sit there and you let that shit fucking eat, it's going to eat.
It's going to eat, and it's going to
fucking
eat. It's going to eat you from the inside out.
Yeah, it will. So, yeah, man, it's just it's that stigma, you know what I mean? And I held on to that like with a death grip for so long of like I didn't want anybody knowing my shit. Anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you told me
You know
when you
what I
came
mean?
home, and
Yeah.
we kept it
Well,
quiet.
yeah, and like
I'm
certain
just saying, we
yeah,
kept it quiet.
certain people that are like very, very in my like inner circle, yeah. You know what I mean? I've told people, but like, and it's people I know like you guys that wouldn't say anything, you know what I mean? Because it was stuff that like I didn't want people to see me as that until they did. You know what I mean? Until they did see me at it, and it wasn't pretty. Put it that way.
Give me a hand, man. I love you. I fucking love you.
We'll put it that way.
I
So
fucking love you, bro.
yeah, man.
But listen, life's good now. Life's going on the up and up.
Yeah, it's getting better, man. Certain decisions that need to be made and certain things. I mean, yeah, I've been a cop now, and being a cop now, dude, has its own fucking battles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Now, do you wish you stayed in the army, or you?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I hear from. And I hear that from
Yeah.
all of my friends that are in the military, or whether Marines, Airborne, Air Force.
Yeah.
Everybody says they wish they stayed instead of
Yeah.
going into police work.
Yeah, 1,000,000%, man. I'll always have, my tight group here, and them, and obviously you guys that are in my fucking here to me, know that. But some of the closest people I've met in my life to this day were from when I was in the military, and
It's a different kind. It's a
that's
different kind of
yeah,
brotherhood.
it's bonded through different experiences and stuff that you're not going to get at home. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude. I mean, I fucking loved what I did. It was action packed. Did it suck a lot of the time? Yeah, it did. But it was fucking action packed, man. We had a blast. I did shit that people in their life are never gonna do. I've spent time in the fucking jungle. I've been all over the fucking world. I jumped out of planes, shot this gun, that gun. You know what I mean? I've done shit that most people aren't gonna fucking do. And I lived that fucking action-packed life. It was fun. You know what I mean? And there's just something about it. And I think it goes back to like when I was young and just having that obsession with the military was, it's just what I wanted to do, man. And I told one of my friends, as I said, it's something I needed to do in my life. And I knew, I was like, if I don't go into the military, I will regret this for the rest of my fucking life. And it was the best decision I ever made. It was.
Just like your dad wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. Best decision I ever made in my life. And obviously with everything that's good, there's some bad shit that comes with it. It's natural. It's anything in life. You know what I mean? Your fucking job, family, everything's going to have some bad that comes along with it. But it was the best decision I ever made, man. And, you know, looking back on it now, I think I made the right decision leaving, because a lot of people kind of don't really realize this because they only look at the military a certain way. But the military has to change like how society does.
Whether that's for the better or not.
Right. And so, like, for example, this was like a hot topic, right? So when I was in the infantry, when I was in the Army, it was an all-male environment. When I left, they started implementing females. Nothing against females. If you're a female and you can do the fucking job just the same way my boys can,
fantastic.
Have at it. Welcome. But there were certain things, guys are fucking guys.
Guys are stronger.
But when we're in our company area where all the lockers are, we do guy shit, man.
Yeah, talking the
you know
certain
what I mean?
way.
We talk a certain way, we act a certain way. It's just, it is what it is, bro. That's, you know what I mean? So there was a lot of those things where like, well, do we have to change that now? Do we not change in, at our lockers? Do we, like there was a lot of questions that got brought up, and is that's what I'm saying. So like society's changing, so the military has to do it also. And again, for anybody that watches, is nothing against females.
I think everybody knows. I was raised by a single mother.
Yeah, nothing against
I am
females.
all for female empowerment and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But genetically and just personality trait wise, men and women are very different.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that men can do that women can't.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of men do those jobs.
Yeah.
Roughneck. You're not going to see a lot of women in steel mills and shit like that. The Army. Not saying women can't fight, just like you said.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference when you say, go pick up that 200-pound, sack or whatever it might be, or missile, whatever it is, and they can't pick it up. Now you feel like you're doing extra work.
Yeah. And it's, again, if you can hang, you can hang. More power to you.
But if you can't, it becomes a problem.
If you can't, it becomes a problem. And I know there was like a big thing going on where there was like a study that was going on, at least in the combat realm of things, where women are looked at as what? They're looked at as motherly figures, right? They produce life. So I think there was like a study going on of like men seeing a woman hurt in combat, or shot or something like that. They're going to be more, it can be more like emotional in a sense, what I mean? Because that's something that produces life.
Think of their mom.
You know what I mean? Like if it's a dude, I'm like, hey, get your fucking ass up, keep shooting, we gotta go. You know what I mean? Or get by, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna talk to you maybe in a different way than if you're a female. But that's just one example, you know what I mean? But we were getting to the point where people's feelings were starting to matter, which in a military environment, that's not how I grew up. That's not how people before me grew up. Your feelings didn't fucking matter. Now they matter. I had a commander tell us as sergeants, hey, if you guys are fucking smoking the privates, make them do push-ups, shit like that, I'm gonna fucking start smoking all of you. And we were like, whoa, that's not your lane, bub.
Yeah, chill out, man.
You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the direction the military was going, and I was like, I don't know if I want to be a part of that, man.
So it's good.
You know what I mean? And
so you miss it, and you miss it when it was more.
Yeah, and so this was the thing, right? Like my platoon sergeant. What's up, dude?
For those listening, Kenji just came to say hi to Mr. Stahl.
My platoon sergeant, Sergeant Bevel, he, in my opinion, is one of the very last, like old school type of guys.
I'm sorry, I had to take a picture. Big ass head just on the table.
But yeah, he was like in my opinion, one of the last old school type of guys, and that's how he treated us, and it was in a way of you're gonna do things this way. You're going to do things the standard, I mean, that's how he laid it out, which in my opinion is why our platoon was so successful. He held us to a fucking standard, and that was it.
Everyone was accountable.
There was no fucking going below that. You go to that fucking standard or higher, and that's it. So, and that's the type of guy he was. So that's why we were successful. There's not many leaders that are like that anymore, especially in the military. And there's people that are going into the military that can't handle that anymore. And it sucks because hate it, love it. I don't care, but that's what's going to make guys successful. They know who's in fucking charge. They know what the fucking standards are. They know what the fucking goals are, and they make shit happen.
And the military that's protecting the free world.
Exactly. So that's how we fucking went day to day. And that's why we did what we did. So, but things, from what I saw when I was getting out and how I hear things are now, things aren't like that anymore, which is a shame. It is, it's unfortunate. Not to say that they suck now or whatever. I don't fucking know. I haven't been there in fucking 2 years, 3 years, however long it's been. Can I help you?
Just being mad needy. You have to bring this guy to a dog park soon. Oh, you see his face?
But yeah, so it's definitely changed in the last few years for sure. But I do miss it, man. I wouldn't go back now, but I wish I didn't get out. I wish I tried something else or tried a different duty station. I wish I listened to certain people that were trying to point me in the right direction, and I wasn't so fucking standoffish about it and like, nah, dude, fuck that. I'm getting out. Because you get a lot of people that chirp in your ear, and it's just in life, man.
Yeah, it's life.
Do
man.
this, do that. You shouldn't fucking do this. Don't do fucking
Don't
that.
do it. Don't do this.
Fuck this. This shit's fucking dumb. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people chirp in your fucking ear, and it's who you gonna listen to? You gonna listen to yourself, or you gonna listen to other people?
Yeah, you gotta block them out. You gotta learn how to listen to yourself. But it's not easy right at the get go.
It's not easy, man. It's not. So yeah, I mean, I definitely miss it, man. But now I'm in my own world now of adventures and different life stuff, and being a cop is a little bit different, man. You're dealing with some life shit that sometimes is almost like unthinkable, like, or you don't want to think about it really, but then it's going to happen. A couple weeks ago, we had a missing child. He was 5 years old, autism. Fucking, I think he was missing, by the time we got on scene, he was missing for like, I think it was like 15, 20 minutes or so. And they were looking for him for like another 20, 25 minutes on top of that. One of our guys ends up finding him like basically behind the apartment in a lake, pulls him out. Guys start doing CPR on him, fucking trying to get him back to life. Kid ends up fucking dying. Like, fire department comes in, gets him, but the kid fucking died. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, like, you're trying so hard to save a life, and this 5-year-old kid dies, and you're like, fuck. Holy shit.
That's tough.
You know what I mean? And I've seen people, dude, I've seen motherfuckers murdered, cold blood, fucking sprawled out on the ground, blood everywhere. That shit don't bother me.
But that bothers.
But you see a 5-year-old kid who's got a whole life to live, fucking dead. So you see all certain types of shit, and then obviously I'm a cop. So what does that mean? It means everybody fucking hates me. Got it. Noted.
Not everybody.
Not everybody, but everybody that you deal with. Everybody that you're gonna go to a call for, everybody fucking hates you.
Yeah.
So noted. You know what I mean? And it's tough. I mean, that definitely doesn't help with your mental health and shit like that. But the amount of hours and amount of calls we go to where I work is very violent. You know what I mean?
The funny thing is, you say you're in Orlando, and I think of happy shit like Disney and magic.
Oh, dude, that was like the big comment I would always get, and people would always laugh about it, like, "Oh, we could go fucking protect fucking Disney World." I'm like, Disney's not even our jurisdiction. That's not even. Yeah, it's Orlando, but like, it's not really Orlando. And like, it's funny because my parents came down, like one of the first times they came down, I took them around like the actual city. And I started showing them places, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this place?" I'm like, "Oh, like it looks nice." Like, da da da. I was like, "I've had murders here, carjackings here, I mean, this, that, and just listing all this violence shit." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It looks nice." Yeah. I'm like, this place is fucking bad.
Yo, Kenji, go lay down, bro. What are you doing right now? What are you doing with your big ass head? Yeah, I would never have thought that with Orlando. So when you told me about that, I was a little shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's violent, man. You know what I mean?
But there's violence everywhere. There's
violence everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
That was
just because mainstream media doesn't show you everything that goes on. I know you telling me that Disney kind of works hand in hand in making sure that image looks clean.
Yeah. I mean, and they have to, for obvious reasons. But yeah, there's violence everywhere, man. I couldn't imagine being somewhere like Chicago or even the fucking city.
Did you hear about that recent gun battle in Chicago?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
the amount
the recent gun battle in Chicago, something like there were a couple people that were dead, a couple people shot. They let off like 20 something rounds in the middle, like fucking broad daylight in the middle of this. I think it was the city too, and the police didn't even get involved, and they weren't supposed to get involved because they ruled it as mutual combat. Mutual combat's like fist to fist, not where stray bullets can hit people in a fucking building. Dude, it's insane what's going on in some cities, dude.
Law enforcement,
dude. Even here, man. My boy Julio's been on the Voice and Rizzles.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he is just fucking like relentless right now. You can't, dude. What are you doing, man? Even the Voice and Rizzle, Julio came on that show, and he's now doing. On top of his meal prep stuff, he was a cop for years. He retired, and now he's doing private security in the city. Yeah. All these companies are hiring private security to watch the buildings on top of the regular security that's there.
Yeah,
it's fucking insane.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just maybe make it so this way the standard is set that if you break the law, you go to fucking jail instead of just getting let out in 6 hours.
It's crazy, man.
Dude, what do you you've told me stories, and I've had my own family members tell me stories of. Yeah, we're not gonna get backed up if we do the right thing and we stop a crime and this and that. All right, guess what, dude? Your life means more to me than that store getting robbed. So sit in the fucking car. I mean, it is what it is.
We see it a lot, man. And it's not just where I work. It's a lot of other places, man. And you'll see a lot of these people that constantly commit crimes. They've been committing these crimes. You know what I mean? They get let out all the time, dude. I had a guy. I'll tell us just one story. I had this guy. I wrote a warrant on him, and it was for it was like aggravated battery. No, it was aggravated assault with a firearm, and a couple other charges, whatever. So like felony type stuff. As I'm writing the warrant, I get his whole criminal history. Right, I get it faxed over to me, and I started going, bro. First off, I pulled off the printer. It's like pulling off like a fucking encyclopedia. That's how many times this guy's been arrested. And I started flipping through it. And bro, it's just like felony after felony after felony. I mean,
why is this dude out?
And like not even just felony, like violent shit, like shit that like a lot of firearm charges, like shit that you're just like, this dude should not be on the road, but here he is. He's on the street with a gun still. You know what I mean? And it's crazy shit like that. And it's not just where I work. It's happening everywhere. It's happening all over the place, man. And everybody, oh, well, they're innocent. He's a good person. No, he's fucking not. Let's just cut the shit. He's not a good fucking person.
I can understand if somebody gets caught up in some shit and they go to jail and they rehab and they rehabilitate their life and they're back and they're a better human being. They're an
which I've come across.
And they're assets to the community. Mm-hmm. And they're good people and they generally just fucked up and made a mistake. But you get somebody who's a career criminal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That person has broken the law how many times? If I steal something from a store, you're going to expect me to get held to a standard.
Yeah.
Nick stole some shit. Nick?
Yeah.
He stole shit. Well, I mean, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Like he's got to get held accountable. Yep. Get charged, do it. Okay. Why does that guy get to slip?
Yeah.
Why does he get to slip out the ropes? Oh, he's just misunderstood. No, he's not. He's breaking the law, and it seems to be a habitual attitude and problem that he's doing this. And it's just I don't know. It gets overlooked, and then you get mental health stuff involved, and then they say, well, it's just all he knows is the environment he's brought up in, and this and that. Okay, but there are people that changed. There are people that have made their lives better.
There are,
and that's the trick, and and not even a trick. That's the goal in life. However you started, whether you started off with privilege, whether you started off at the gutters and the lowest point in life, everyone has the opportunity to be a great human being, and everyone has the ability to raise their self to another level that they never even thought possible. Yeah. You hear this all the time with famous people, all the time. And whether they're bullshitting just for a fucking story or not, you still have that thought process, and that needs to be instilled in kids that are in the wrong environments. And that's every kid. That's any color, any race, any person. Because there's bad situations for young generations all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's about harvesting the good in them, watering it like a fucking plant and making them grow instead of just going, oh, that's where they came from. It is what it is.
Dude, it's funny, man. I actually had like this interaction literally, it was maybe like 2 weeks ago. We got a call about oh my God, what was it? I think it was like a residential burglary call or something like that. This guy was, somebody thought this guy was trying to break into like hotel rooms. Long story short, we go on this whole fucking goose egg chase trying to find this guy and finally find him, right? And me, I'm the type of guy where if you're the person I'm looking for, I'm going to be very firm with you. And I'll put you in cuffs, be very firm with you, grab you, whatever, do what I got to do. And the guy didn't like me. We'll put it that way, right? Like he had a very fucking big problem with me. So long story short, right? Found out the guy's story. He wasn't doing anything wrong, but this guy's been to jail several times for felony charges. So we're getting ready to wrap things up or whatever. I'm kind of talking with the guys, and the guy comes over to me. He's like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" So yeah, sure, absolutely, man. What's up? So we go off, just me and him talk one-on-one. He's like, "Listen, man, like I get it. Like we need you guys. And this is a guy who's been arrested several times, right, for felony shit, burglary, like a big like felony shit. We need you guys. Like I know how it is for you guys out there. Like I know you're just doing your job. Like." And I was like, "Listen, man, no harm, no foul. Like, I did what I had to do. I did my job. You're good." I was like, "Are we straight?" He's like, "Yeah, man, we're good." Fucking fist bumped, and that was it.
And that's all it has to be.
And
most of the interactions, that's what that's all they have to be.
And that's all it was. Like, but he took the time out there to, even though he didn't like me in the first like fucking 5 minutes, he sat there and like wanted to have a conversation. Yeah, bro, I'll have a conversation with you all day. Listen, it's fucking
we're humans.
It's business, bro.
We're all humans.
But you're good to go. Appreciate you having a conversation with me, but this is what it is. But there's some people that aren't gonna have that conversation, man.
Yeah, they just don't want to see you.
They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to see you. And dude, I've had people fucking screaming at me on the phone and shit because we were trying to arrest. It was like a little white chick. She was fucking drunk and she ended up hitting an officer. And I was like, "What do you people want? I don't get it. What do you want?"
She assaulted somebody.
You get mad if it's a black person. You get mad if it's a white person. You get mad. Like, what do you want? I mean, what at the end of the day is going to be right for you?
Do you want it to just be the Wild West and everybody just defend for themselves? Because a lot of people aren't ready for that.
They're not, and it's crazy. Like, you try to do a job as a cop now, and it's hard, man. I think as law enforcement, some people are gonna probably hate me for saying this, but we're at a point in time right now where like a lot of leadership in law enforcement were cops back in the day. There was no body cameras. Things were different. They did things differently. I'm not going to say they did anything legal, illegal, whatever. I don't know because I wasn't there. But you hear stories. You know what I mean? And things were different back then. Now things are different. Everybody's got a cell phone in their hand. Even if you're doing things to the T from the fucking book, somebody's going to say, "He's on his neck." No, I'm literally not. But somebody's going to say it. As soon as somebody says it in the crowd,
phones are out.
Everybody's watching now.
And they're not even doing it in terms of like...
Your leg might be on his fucking ass cheek, but somebody says he's on his neck, everybody's phone's out like, "Well, get out." You know what I mean? And it's just...
And they rile it up too.
They rile up
to... He was just on it or stuff like that. It's almost like a lose-lose battle.
It is, man. It is. And...
Well, places that have the police reform, like Minneapolis, Minnesota,
dude, like
they were scaling the cops back.
Yeah.
Now they're saying no, we need them.
They did that in oh my God, what's that place in fucking what was it, Portland, where they had that fucking
the Chaz zone?
Yeah, that shit.
First off, the mayor over there is just as fucking dumb as and I'm trying not to get political right now, but like I don't care what your viewpoints are. If you sit there and you think that like De Blasio, Lori Lightfoot, and the mayor of fucking Portland, if you sit there and you think these people are doing excellent jobs, you got to reevaluate yourself, because these people might be the biggest jokes in history. Just like Cuomo, right? I said the entire fucking pandemic, Cuomo brothers are the biggest losers on the fucking planet.
Gets fired from fucking
and
CNN.
Fredo's gone too. That was the best news I could ever.
Yeah.
I fucking can't stand them.
Yeah.
Don't point your finger at me in your ivory tower and say, "Don't do this. You're not allowed to do this. Fuck you." And then you just go do whatever the fuck you want.
Yep.
No, you're an asshole. Lori Lightfoot's an asshole for allowing her city to become a fucking military zone, basically. And the fact that place hasn't been, I mean, it's just insane. It's insane.
It is.
Like, if you really wanted activists to go in there and shout and claim that we need change, go to Chicago, because Chicago needs change.
Yeah.
Bad, because people are dying mostly black people, and it's mostly because of themselves. They're killing each other, and it's really fucking sad. I have so many friends, different colors, different ethnic, different everything. I love everybody. I don't want to see anybody die. Dude. I want to see everybody thrive and be the best versions that they can be. Yeah, but like, if you really want to change shit, you got it right there. There's your prime example of something that needs help. And they need help bad. And then that Chaz zone in fucking Portland was the biggest joke ever. Didn't a couple people get raped and a couple people got shot too? Yeah. And they're sitting there waving the cops into the Chaz zone. I'd be like, no, I'm good. You wanted this.
Yeah,
take it into your own hands.
This is you. This is what you want.
Y'all got doctors in there?
Yeah.
You got medics ready on staff? You guys got guns and stuff? You're good, right? You're good. Okay.
Yeah, dude. That's why, like, you know, my brother was NYPD for, I think like 7 or 8 years, something like that. I think 8 years. And he left. You know what I mean? And that was the whole. So before I was even in the Army, like, this is fucking backtracking. This is back to when I was in college. He graduated the police academy, and their graduation was at the Barclays Center. So I remember going there. They showed like this hype video and all that shit. So we were watching the whole graduation. I was like, that's what I wanted to do. And to me, at that point in my life, I thought NYPD was like cool. Like,
yeah.
As far as law enforcement goes, I was like,
LAPD, NYPD.
Yeah, it's fucking sick, right? And so I took tests and did all that shit, right? And I actually got called the month I was leaving for basic training to go start doing the process for NYPD. And I just deferred all of it. And then it was...
How happy you did that?
Dude, because it was like my last year in the Army, and like that was really my only backup plan if I wanted to do anything. And that was like right around the time where New York just started going fucking down the shitter.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? That just doesn't seem like a good idea. And I'm glad I didn't, because now I look back on it and I'm like,
the city's a shithole right now. The city is a shithole.
I'm like, fuck, bro.
Dude, I go to the city. I drive through because I go to Jersey. I drive through the city and I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't know how there's anybody in here still. I don't know how you live here.
I refuse to go to the city,
just like between the tyrannical rule of the government in the state government in the city, in the tri-borough area, to just like how they just allow shit to just slip, and that new drug clinic,
yeah.
That if you don't know about this, it's fucking crazy that they'll have a drug specialist watch you as you shoot up and give you clean needles. They had something like 6 overdoses there already. It's only been open like a week, not even.
Yeah, literally, yeah, probably not even.
I mean, how is this helping? I get you don't want people on the street just doing drugs in plain daylight, but that's a whole other issue. That's a mental health issue.
That's not much better.
You got to clean the streets up from the homeless for and I'm not saying clean them up like just get rid of them. Yeah. Y'all been telling us, and I'm saying y'all like the government. Y'all been telling us exactly how to spend our money and what to do for fucking years, but we can't question where our budgets are going.
Yeah,
our taxes in New York are insane. Where's all that money going? There's potholes all over the place.
Yeah, bro.
It seems like New York doesn't know how to spend the money. So
like
maybe you guys are the problem. You don't know. And I don't care if you're on the left, if you're on the right, if you're in the fucking middle. Yeah. I think nobody knows how to spend the money. And we need a total reform of government.
Yeah.
At a high level, at a state level, at a federal level. I think in general, things need to be changed. And you're going to sit there and point fingers and say, oh, well, here, we're going to clean the streets up by letting people shoot up in front of somebody. Yeah. So if they're about to die, we can give them a Narcan shot. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's that's why everybody's on this DeSantis fucking binge, and I think the guy's fucking great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he does a lot.
He says it like it is.
It's not just law enforcement that he does things for. I know that's like one of his main things, but dude, people are fucking happy. Like he's on this fucking thing of he's going to let people live their life. You know what I mean? If you want to fucking go out and get the fucking vaccine, go ahead, go get the fucking vaccine. If you don't want to do it, okay, don't fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, my family was just telling me they were in the city the other day, and everybody, I guess, in there is asking about that, what do you call it? That fucking vaccine card, like to show proof or whatever.
See, you don't even know about it.
And I was
Florida.
like,
this is like different. This is
I was
different
like,
world
fuck
for you.
that, bro. I gotta give you a card that says nah, I'm good, dude. And I've had people ask me this all the time.
Whether you get it or you don't, it's still fucked that you're gonna sit there and
yeah. I have to show you my permission slip to get into this fucking restaurant. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
I've talked to a couple professional athletes that refuse to get it.
Yeah.
And they literally said, I went to a spot in Brooklyn, or I went to a spot in Queens, or that I used to go to all the time, and now because I don't have it, they won't let me in. And it's a place that I supported for years.
It's crazy.
And I sit there and I just go, really? Okay. All right.
Dude,
well, once all your business continues to fleet, we'll go from there. And I hate to see it, man, because I know that it's just gonna. It goes back to what I've been saying to friends. It's like the government doesn't give a fuck about you.
No,
they don't care. And the people that sit there and think that they do are delusional. And I have family members that are like that. The government knows everything and they're the best and this and that. Nah, they don't know shit. They're just people like us that have a little bit more power that sit there and they can say, okay, well, I think this is what's gonna work.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, instead of accepting ownership and going, we fucked up, we need to change things, this is how we're gonna go for going forward. They won't do that. They'll just drag it out. Yeah. And they'll be like, I can't be wrong. We're the government. We can't be wrong. If we're proven to be wrong, then all this was for nothing. Yeah. And that's in not only COVID, that's with everything. So
literally.
To have somebody like a small business, because I'm a small business. So I think like if the government came and told me, hey Nick, you can't film Monday, Wednesday, Fridays because of COVID. You can only film Tuesday, Thursdays, and maybe Saturdays. I would politely explain, fuck yourself. Yeah. I film when I want because it's my money. And I have to make a living. Yeah. Whereas you never seem to not make money. All of you guys always have jobs, right? Throughout COVID, throughout everything. Cuomo's sitting there saying you got to stay home. Really? I got to stay home. I got to stay home while you are getting your paycheck every 2 weeks. Yeah. And making all your bonuses and making a book about how you dealt with the pandemic, when really you should have been making a book at how I'm a fucking sex predator and I'm an asshole. So like that's what you should have been making a book about.
Yeah, the fact that anybody fucking supports that, man, is just...
Dude, I would have people that would have his little press conferences on every day about COVID. I'd be like, is this just like a dick measuring contest? Because in my mind, this dude's putting his dick on the table and just like bringing a ruler out. And he's just going, hey guys, look how big this is. Look. Like, dude, it was ridiculous what I listened to this guy talk about. And that finger pointing, stay home or you're killing grandma. And then you killed everybody in the fucking nursing homes. So that's weird how that worked out.
Very ironic.
So you killed grandma. You just wanted to tell us that we were doing it. But it's just a bunch of bullshit. And I think the times that we're in right now, I said this to a couple people as well. The times that we're in right now, we've had very good years the last 20 years. Whether we've had Republican presidents, whether we've had Democratic presidents, it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, everybody gets their way. You have a Republican president for 4 years. The Democrat comes in the next 4 years, and he removes everything the Republican did. And the Republican comes back in, and he removes everything the Democrat did. Whatever it is, I don't fucking care who you like. Yeah. Doesn't matter to me. I don't like government in my business. So for me, I just don't like government in general.
Dude, I've never voted. I've never voted because I don't give a fuck. Like,
there you go. So it's like...
I just don't give a shit.
So whatever that is, it's just like you got to make your own path. Yeah. The big thing that you have to understand is that these people don't care. You have to just keep moving with your life and not allow what they say to affect you. Yeah. Unless there's a nuke coming down on us right this second, leave me alone. Yeah. Don't tell me anything else. I don't want to hear about anything else. I don't want to hear your dumb fucking press conferences every day. I don't want to hear any of your input because your input really doesn't matter in my life. And that's kind of the fact, though. Dude, that's the vibe that I stand in. But the point I was trying to make. Don't laugh at me. Imagine if I was drinking. The point that I was trying to make was very easy times have created very weak individuals. Yeah. Men and women. Mm-hmm. You see it all over the place now. Yeah. With COVID, with business, with life, which is in general. Even when everyone got the okay to go back to normal, how many people are just like, oh no, I like to stay at home and this and that. Fine, stay at home then. Yeah. That's cool. I've been grinding during this whole thing. Yeah. I got shit to do, man. I don't take no time off. Yeah. I have shit to do. I got a life to build. I'm just getting started. I've been saying that for the last 4 years. Still just getting started. I'm in the intro stages. Yeah. There's so much more to do. And I think that these weak mindsets, I'm not even calling them weak people. I'm going to call them weak mindsets because they've been conditioned to believe that. And it kind of goes full circle back to the indoctrination during colleges and during all the stuff that you get a job, get a family, get the white picket fence, get a dog, get like, and just all this like what you should be. How about everybody just does what they want to do? If you want to start your own company, start your own fucking company.
Yep.
You want to be a cop? Be a cop. You want to go to the moon or go to Mars with Elon Musk? Figure out a way to get into the building.
People are so locked into being told what to do.
Yeah, just
you know
there's no timeline. I'm 30 years old, single, no house. I still live at home. Yeah. Like
Dude,
I own my own business and I'm building it. And people don't realize that things sometimes take time. They see the Instagram success and they think it needs to just be done right now.
I watch oh my God, what's his name? Fuck, the owner of the fucking Jets.
I don't know the owner of the Jets' his name. I'm
Gary V.
He doesn't own the Jets.
He doesn't own the Jets?
No.
I could have sworn he owned the Jets.
No.
Okay, he owns some fucking team.
No.
All right, anyways, whatever.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
So
I'm looking it up right now.
So I was watching Gary V, right? So he does a lot of
Gary V's I'm gonna let you continue. Gary V's an interesting guy.
He is. But there's a lot of not interviews, but a lot of talks he does. Like there's something he says, right? And it's because everybody wants what? They want money now. They want the house now. They want this, they want everything now, right? And so like one of the fucking things he always says is, he's like, oh, people ask me like why I fucking spend so much time working this and that. He goes, because I love the process. And people don't like that anymore. They don't like the process.
They don't want the hard work.
They don't want to put they want everything now. Give me it fucking now.
Because they see, and I think social media has a lot to play in it. We talk about that.
Oh, social, dude.
You see all these people winning. You see all these people doing big things that are, even listen. There's so much shit that I do.
If I didn't need this thing for work, I would launch this into the fucking ocean.
Me
bro.
too. Me too.
Like I
didn't
swear to God,
podcast,
bro.
and I didn't need it for fucking videos and photos and networking with clients. Yeah. I'd be gone, dude. I would delete all my social media because it's toxic.
Yeah, it is.
But not all of it's toxic. It's what you put into it that you do.
Right. Yeah. So sometimes it's a good thing, and I'd say more often than not, it's a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's a lot of videographers that I watch and that I know that sit there and they just literally just stroke their own dick all day about people that they work with, about their projects. And then they're just like, here's a little bit of footage from this day. Here's a little bit of footage from that day. And okay, yeah, you're building your brand and you're trying to look like that. But as a videographer too, and as somebody that, is in the trenches, building a company and doing my thing, I know that it's not all sunshines and angels. And
nothing fucking is, bro.
Why don't you talk about like the battles with clients about money? Why don't you talk about, getting outbid or underbid by other competitive videographers because they'll shoot a video for $200 and a client sees your bill for $2,000 and they're just like, whoa, what is this? And you go, well, if you don't see the value between us and that, I can't really, there's a difference there. But like, nobody wants to talk about that. I'll talk about it. I have no problem talking about it. There has been so much dirt and shit that I've dealt with. Not getting paid from clients, doing full shoots, and then just the client just goes, just dodging you on money. Or big name people just, you know what? I paid you to shoot, but I'm not going to pay you to edit. Why? So
I believe it though.
Yeah. So
I believe it.
There's like some real shit in owning your own stuff, and you got to be able to get in the trenches and deal with it. And it's the same thing with the guys that couldn't deal with basic training, the basic training paperwork. It's like once you start getting into the actual grit of it, obviously very different things, but once you get into the grit of things, entrepreneur life, working for yourself is not for everybody. It really isn't. I was listening to Andy Frisella, the owner of First Form. I was listening to Andy Frisella's podcast. His podcast is fantastic. He says it as it is. Yeah. Talks his shit, and his shit is fucking true, and he just keeps it real. And he says, there's a lot of people that couldn't do what we do on a daily basis as entrepreneurs. To own your own business, to not know where the money's coming from, to build, to network, to be able to do all the social, to shoot, everything. Yeah. It's a lot of work. I mean, this podcast is my passion, a side passion. I love doing it. Yeah. I love sitting down with amazing people like Sergeant Stahl. I love sitting down with amazing people and just having conversations, whether that's a debate, whether that's just us talking, whether it's just you want to vent and just talk about shit. I love that. Yeah. I don't get paid on this. This is we're in the middle of the day right now. Yeah. Normally I'd be editing and getting paid on things, this and that. I take the time out of my day to build something special. And most people can't see past, well, I just want the check now. I want the money right this second. So
I want the money.
Yeah, man. And it's okay to want the money. I want the money. Yeah. It's okay. I want an amazing life. I want to know that my dog, everything that he needs, medical, food-wise, his food's fucking expensive, man. This dude eating $200, $230 worth of food every 2 weeks, man. It's expensive, dude. Like, I want to know that I got everything. You know, when I have a girlfriend, when I have, a family, I want to know that I got it. We're good. I've worked my fucking ass off to get to this point.
Dude, I've had so many people, and it's funny because like you all know who the fuck you are, have told me, dude, let's go back to New York, move back to New York. Oh, come on, like we're all here, blah, blah, blah. I say, yeah, I probably couldn't afford a fucking cardboard box there right now if I wanted to.
Well, yeah, you can afford a cardboard box out in Holtzville.
Yeah, and I was like, for what reason? Yeah, my family's there, sure. But they come visit me, I go visit them, and it works. I was like, but it's also fucking 80 degrees. It's sunny. I have a nice house, and not that materialistic shit means anything to me.
No, but you've also worked hard for your things.
I've had this conversation with people, and I said, listen, I don't care about the house. I don't care about my fucking car. I don't care about any of that shit. I don't care. It doesn't fucking matter to me. And people have asked me like, oh, like, you know, why are you going to be a cop? Why'd you want to be a cop? And people have asked me, well, why Orlando? And I'm like, because like at least in Florida, everybody like Orlando pays well. It does, you know, at least in law enforcement terms, for at least salary wise, they pay well. And so people ask me, I'm like, I don't care about the fucking money. I'm like, what? One, I was in the Army. Okay, trust me, I don't fucking care about the money because you get paid dog shit. Trust me, don't give a fuck about the money. But yeah, dude, a lot of people make it about money, but the work isn't there. You know what I mean?
The work ethic.
The work ethic is not there. And yeah, it's great to have what I have, but do I want to sit here and, especially nowadays, like come back to a place like this and struggle? No, I just don't. It's just okay. It's not in my fucking cards right now. You know what I mean?
Maybe in 10 years, who knows?
Maybe in 10 maybe in 10
when you have kids and shit, who knows, dude?
Maybe in 10 years it will be.
What did I tell you, man? When you told me you were thinking about moving back, what did I tell you? Do what you feel is right.
Yeah.
If you want to stay in Florida, stay in Florida. If you want to, if you want to come back here and do something here, do something here. Just be true to yourself. Don't listen to other people. Don't be pressured. It comes back to the same thing. Don't listen to the outside noise. Focus on that internal noise. Focus on yourself and just go, what do I want? What do I want to do? What's going to benefit me? Yeah. If you're happy where you're at, or generally happy, you know, in and out, that's fine. But if you're miserable and you really hate it and you really need a change, then you start assessing, well, where is it going to be? Is New York that place? Is another place that place?
Yeah.
You just got to do some internal soul searching.
Yeah, and that's, you know, at least for me, man, that's been the hard part. Is I've always prided myself on knowing what I want to do, where I want to be, and all that good shit, right? And for the first time in my life now at 29, I'm like, fuck. You know, and there's a lot of questions that have been raised about certain things, and you know, what I'm experiencing now is something I thought I was going to experience when I was 21, 22, when I was in college, and like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, you know, and go through that. Because most people do. Mm-hmm. They at a young age, they go, oh, fuck, I don't know what I want to do with my life.
I think it hits people differently, though. I think
it does.
And not only that, I think the people that get hit with it later in life have had earlier responsibilities.
Right. And so, and I agree 100%, because now that I'm 29, now I'm freaking out because I'm like, fuck. I'd never had these thoughts, and now knowing how I used to be able to just make decisions on my life and what I want to do and where I want to go and where I want to be and all that shit was easy to me. Now it's not. And now I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? But I still go to work every day. I still work hard. I still make my money. Well, not now because I'm on some light duty, but yeah, dude, but it's all about the process, man. It's all about the process and making those decisions to do what you want to do. It really is, dude. At the end of the day. You know what I mean? But a lot of people are, like I said, you know what I mean? They're set in stone with wanting things now and not wanting to put the work in, and it's sad. It's fucking sad.
Yeah, dude.
It's really fucking sad, dude.
Well, at least we got the hard work. We're out here. Boots on the ground, bro.
Dude, yeah, for real, man. Absolutely.
And I think podcasting might be in your future too.
Dude, you know
how long we've been going?
Do you know
how long we've been going?
What, an hour?
About almost 2 hours and 15 minutes.
No shit, really?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't even feel that
That's
long.
why this motherfucker's walking around. He's like, damn, bro.
Yeah,
I gotta take a shit.
Come
Let's
on,
go.
I gotta go. But,
I think it's a good segment to kind of exit out.
Yeah, dude.
But I do want to have you on again.
Yeah,
just to shoot the shit and just talk about things. And
yeah, dude.
You're an amazing human being. I love you,
dude.
Yo, fucking love you, bro. You're one of my brothers. For
absolutely.
Real.
Like, he's ready to go.
Yeah,
yo, he's like, yo, you guys fucking done yet or what?
All right, we'll go to the dog park. Oh, he sees me.
He's like, fuck yeah.
All right, we'll go to the dog park. Listen, I want to thank everybody listening. This is big episode 10.
Dude.
Big episode
big
10.
milestone, bro. Big milestone.
Episode 10 of Rizzology. I got my brother, Sergeant Stahl, on
Yeah,
today. Listen, what's your Instagram? What's your name on it?
Yo, that's a good question.
Stop changing it, too.
Bro, I had to.
What's your fucking Instagram? Tell
Oh,
me.
I'm gonna tell
Tell
you.
the people, because listen, if you ever want to get in contact with Stahl, and you know, I don't want to just throw you out there like that. But if somebody is going through some shit, maybe they want to hit you up if they're military.
It's B_John_.
Done.
There you
So
go.
if you guys want to reach out to,
That's how much I don't care. Is
I know,
I
exactly.
literally had to look and see what my Instagram name was.
yeah. So if you guys want to listen, and you guys listen and something strikes a chord and you want to ask him something, I'm sure he'd be more than receptive to just answer something to you.
All ears.
So, but listen, love you again, dude.
Love you, bro.
Thank you guys for
Absolutely.
listening. And on that note, peace.
Let's do it.